Talk shoes. Recorded live.
All right, welcome to another show. Our latest episode of our Boxing podcast. I'm Twan the Divine Liberty of HoopJab.com. I got my co-host, my panelists with me as usual from Chi-Town. We got Bo and Bernard from the Truth and Facts About Boxing. And we got Big Cool from Colossal Boxing Talk. We're going down for 2K this weekend. He can't join us tonight. He may be on later, but he, has some things to tend to. So he's going to hold it down for 2K for the guys of Boxing Talk tonight. Together we make up this thing called the Movement. You know what I'm saying? With that said, we're going to dive in straight into these topics, man. We got quite a lot to get into. How y'all fellas doing this evening, first off, before we start off?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to be back.
All right.
Hey, I'm ready to go. Let's knock it out, man.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad it's an honor to be doing the show with y'all again weekly, so let's get it going, man. We're going to start off this week with the hot one. Been pretty much the biggest thing this week going on in boxing.
The Garcia case.
Oh, hell no, man. Do I have to go back to muting people? Do I have to use my mute button tonight?
I have to.
All right. But yeah, earlier this week, we had Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman with their opening press conference in New York for their fight that's going to be held in March, I believe. And it's quite some fireworks at that press conference. If you guys don't know, Andrew Garcia, he's always the animated one and the voice of their group. He got into a little verbal spat with Keith, and, some things came out of his mouth that may or may have not been acceptable, depending on who the person is. Let's talk about that a little bit, fellas. I'm going to go ahead and start off with you, Bernard. What were your thoughts on the whole thing as far as Angel Garcia? Do you feel like he overstepped his bounds in any way? Let me get your take on it, bro.
Wow, this is kind of one of those touchy subjects with Keith. He called Keith Thurman a nigga. Call him a bitch-ass nigga, to be exact. But I think it's this. I know Puerto Ricans that call each other niggas. I know Mexicans that call each other niggas. I will say that I'm on the side like this. The nigga word didn't really have an effect on me because I know Puerto Ricans that use that word basically. But when he called him a bitch-ass nigga, and he pretty much was taking over the press conference and not letting Thurman speak, let's be honest, man. They selling the fight here. I'm all down for the fuckery, as I always say. I know Keith Thurman probably didn't like being called a bitch-ass nigga. That's what I kind of think. That's when he's ready to square up with Angel and hit him in his jaw. I can see that. But other than that, man, it's down for the fuckery. It's promoting the fight. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
All right. Let me go ahead and pass it on to Big Cool, man. You got any other thoughts you might want to add to this one, or your thoughts when you saw the video and everything erupt? Them coming face to face. A trainer at that. Not the fighters, the trainer. What were your thoughts when you caught a glimpse of that, man?
I mean, I think Angel crossed the line, and everybody want to say, well, yeah, he from the hood and this and that, 40, 50 years old, however old he is. And that's fine, you know what I'm saying? But you, as an adult, it's a time and place to say certain things. In a press conference with cameras and media, everybody there, you don't just start shouting out, nigga, bitch-ass nigga, this and that. Okay, this slipped up once, fine. But you went out your way to show your ignorance over and over, and you taken away from your son's, moment to speak and, say his piece about the fight, throw out his verbal, jabs and insults towards Keith, and you making it about you. I know, it's a selling fight, but you can't really, condone this or try to make an excuse about the language. And he not only said the nigga, he was disrespecting, other, he got onto the other subjects that we're not going to touch on, but, I mean, he just showed that he doesn't really have too much class, and I understand Puerto Ricans and Mexicans say the N-word, but like I said, you got to know when to cut it on and when to turn it off. And saying that, at the press conference, hold on. saying it at a press conference, I don't care what nobody say. Saying it at a press conference like he did was just ridiculous, man. They was there to promote a fight, and yeah, he did do his part, whether we like it or not. And it's not nothing that's gonna turn me off of boxing or nothing like that. But Danny got to pull his dad to the side and say, Dad, I love you, I respect you, but you gotta chill that out. You gotta tone that out, man, because that's making not only me look bad, it's making you look bad. And he a grown man with kids and grandkids, and you gotta act your age. There's different ways to promote the fight, man. I just think he crossed the line.
No, hold on. I want to say something. What else did he say? Because I watched the press conference that you felt was offensive. The only other thing I thought that was kind of weird to me was he kept saying, I'm the champion. I'm the champion. Like, I joked around with y'all in the group, like, yo, when did Angel Garcia beat Danny Garcia for the WBC welterweight title? So that's what I want to know. What else?
I mean, he went on the edge a couple times. You know, I guess he mentioned something about two hippies and something ain't gonna beat me. You know, he called Keith Thurman a hippie, and you know he was just going at it, being Angel, man.
Did he say something about the immigrants or somebody or something like that too? It was
not that I know of.
He said something about supporting Donald Trump.
I don't know. We're not going to take it there on this, though.
Yeah, he did.
We ain't going to take it there on this one, though.
He did. It's not about Trump. Yeah, but he just went over the line, man. It don't matter, man, how hood you are, how old you. Like I said, you don't say that word. We shouldn't say it anyway, but, I mean, if you're going to say it in the comfort of, where you ain't going to get no backlash, man. He just showed his ignorance.
And the thing is, this fight was announced to be on CBS. This ain't Showtime. So, you got to think about what kind of sponsors or, whatever that could have been lost based on those kind of antics. You got to also think about, Danny himself. If you think about Danny as an individual, he's a pretty marketable guy, calm, low-key. He's not a smack talker. He has been drawn into it lately because of other fighters and I guess trying to live up to, some of the things his dad says and does in press conferences with his antics. But, it's a pretty interesting conundrum, I think, just seeing, the difference between the two of them, between the father and the son. And, I mean, I don't know. Let me go ahead and pass it to Bo. What were your thoughts on it, man? Because there was a lot of controversy based around the comments from Angel over this past week. And, it's been going. There's been multiple articles put up about it. So let me get your take on some of the stuff that's come out in the press afterwards, in the aftermath of all this, man.
Well, first of all, let's get something straight here, okay? Regardless, and I've been talking about this all week, and it's crazy. Here's the thing that people got to understand. Somebody said something, I believe that was Big Cool, said something like, you got to think, one of you guys said something, you got to think about Danny. Well, the problem is Danny ain't never said nothing to his dad. Danny ain't gonna say nothing to his dad. And Danny, when he was talked about it, was kind of dismissive about the whole what his father had said. It didn't bother him. Okay, him saying the nigga word, that's not what bothered Keith Thurman. It's when he said bitch ass nigga. That's street shit. Them fighting words in the hood. Okay, everybody, understand something. Them fighting words in the hood. But he kept on saying other stuff that was completely offensive outside of him saying that bitch-ass nigga. But what people got to understand is this is the monster that the fucking press and fucking people created when it comes to Angel Garcia, because he's been doing this shit going back to fucking Amir Khan. Go back to the Amir Khan fight. Watch how he showed his ass with that. Same thing with Zab Judas. Same thing with Ruben Guerrero. Go back and watch it. This is nothing new. Angel Garcia has been doing this shit for a minute. The only thing is this time it's going to be on CBS and he stepped over the line. But see, every time he do it, people say shit like, oh, that's just Angel being Angel. Or this is Angel selling the fight and all of that. Well, this is the monster they created because that shit should have been nipped in the bud with him then. And because it wasn't, this is what we got. Now, whether it's selling the fight or not selling the fight, okay, the problem is, you still have a large group of people that was extremely uncomfortable with what Angel said. And that can hurt this fight. It really can, because instead of talking about the fight, like everybody knew going into the press conference, that Angel Garcia was going to go off. Because I hear it every time Angel Garcia fight. What is the one thing you guys hear everybody say? Ooh, I wonder what Angel's going to say. Ooh, I wonder what we're going to hear from Angel. That's what we always hear. So everybody knew he was going to, say something, right? But he went too far. And you have a good majority of people that feel that way. But I always say this is the monster motherfuckers created because they never nipped this shit in the bud. And I don't expect Danny to pull his father to the side and say nothing because the number one problem about it is Danny wins. And as long as Danny been winning, what they going to say to Angel? They're going to say, the only thing is, Angel gets in their head before the fights. But as long as Danny keep winning, what they're going to say? What they're going to say? What do we really expect Danny Garcia to tell his father? He's close to his dad. When his daddy had that throat cancer stuff, Danny Garcia was hurt. So there were apologies. There was people that were saying stuff like Lou DiBella was saying how, he didn't approve of it. I think the WBC saying that they're going to look into it. But he's been saying this. And even there at the press conference, I didn't see Lou DiBella try to grab the mic from Angel Garcia until after all of this was done.
Hey, they chuckled. They got chuckles out of this shit.
They try to compare this to the Broner situation.
Right. I didn't see that.
I had an issue with that. We all know Broner says he's a can man. Anybody can get it. Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Americans, Dominicans, he says it all the time. When he said it on Showtime, it wasn't the fact that he said it. He said, I just beat the fuck out of a Mexican, which was true.
I mean, it's pretty funny if you think about it, man.
It was the word fuck before Mexican that pissed everybody off, but they wanted to say it was racist. How was it racist? But y'all wasn't calling it racist when he was on HBO doing it. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, but you got to think, like you said, he's done this before. Even in the Zab Judah, he went way overboard and was calling Zab the same kind of thing, and nothing was made of it. Now that is Keith Thurman, and I guess it's a larger fight. I don't know if there was more to it because of that, but, I mean, he's done this kind of thing before, like you guys have all said. This is Angel being Angel. This is nothing new. So for it to become an issue now when he's done this before, I just don't get it. Let's just give you guys a little history lesson. You know what I'm saying? My family's from the Caribbean, Barbados. Bo, he got family from Cuba. We ain't nothing but a banana boat away from each other, man. So there's no reason to be taking offense to Puerto Ricans, a Cuban, anybody saying that. You know what I'm saying? We're a hop, skip, and a jump from each other. You know what I'm saying? We all got connected in a way. So I didn't take any offense to it. Like I said, the thing that was, like Bo mentioned, the thing that was offensive was when he was going into the bitch-ass part. When you put that detail in front of it, that's when it becomes a problem to us.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I said, not to cut you off, but like I said, I didn't necessarily have a problem in saying it because, like I said, I'm black. Okay, we all black on the show. So, of course, we use that word. So, of course, I'm not offended by saying it, but the way he just kept on, just being ignorant with it, he could have just, or if he going to say it once and move on. You didn't have to keep on with the bitch ass and all that. That's my thing about it. Like,
do y'all think Angel is trying to live through Danny in a way? Like, how they say,
vicariously through him? Yeah.
Hell yeah. He's been living vicariously through Danny Garcia. Are you kidding me?
I'm the champion.
Yeah, right, exactly. When he read that, I'm the champion. Come on, man. Come on, man.
He put the arm back on Danny to deliver what he can't do. You know what I'm saying? So Danny got to really there's even more pressure on Danny because if he go out there and get started or stripped, imagine what Keith's going to say. Imagine what Keith's going to say.
Right, that is true.
Daddy boy.
That is true.
Daddy boy.
That is true. With that said, we're going to kick it off to another topic, man. As we talked about last week on the show, Al Heyman no longer has exclusive rights to, his broadcast deals that he had with ESPN, NBC, and the latter. Golden Boy just signed the deal with ESPN this week. They covered, 42 fight cards, with the majority
over 2 years
covered. Yeah, to be covered on ESPN2 and ESPN, what is the third one? Deportes?
Deportes. Yeah, ESPN Deportes.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let Bo break that one down for y'all and give you some details. And he got a pretty good analysis on this one, man. He been going there, so I'm going to let my man Bo take it.
Listen, man, this is nothing surprising or shocking because the bottom line is this. The reality is HBO is pretty. To me, this is a very good indication that HBO is changing things when it comes to boxing on their network. Because Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya was not looking to make a move like this at all, period. And this is the sole purpose of the whole lawsuit when it came to Al Haymon. Because, again, when everybody was making money, nobody cared about what was going on over there at PBC. Now, all of a sudden, they care about it. Now, I'm not going to do the Golden Boy what everybody else did to PBC. I actually like this move, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I've said this 1,000 times. You have other fighters that need to be able to get their shine on. You have Jojo Diaz. You have Diego De La Hoya. I said last week, Oscar De La Hoya has 155 fighters, and you know how many of them that we know about? Maybe 3. 4 at best. So that's not good at all, period. So he needs a platform to showcase his rising up-and-coming fighters. I wonder who did that. Oh, that's right, PBC. That's where we saw Jarrett Hurd. That's where we saw Tony Harrison. That's where we saw Willie Nelson. That's where we saw Abner Martinez and Leo Santa Cruz. Okay, so I like it. It's a good idea. I hope it's successful. Why? Because it helps boxing and we get to see these guys fight. The only difference that there's going to be happening is instead of paying a license fee, the purses of the fights are going to be based off of what they can get from the sponsors. That's something that's going to be interesting to see. That's why one of the fights that was mentioned that they kind of wanted to have on here was David Lemieux versus Toriano Johnson. But, you know, who knows if their budget will probably allow for that. That's something that's going to be interesting.
Definitely not
right,
happening.
Exactly.
Lemieux. We're going to get into the Lemieux thing later, so we'll touch on that later.
All right, that's him. Then you got they also talking about Saddam Ali and Ellis. You know, maybe Matisse and Orozco. You got Humberto Soto and Herrera. So these are very good. These are very good cards of guys either we haven't seen in a long time or guys that are at crossroads. Those make for good fights. And also something I want to point out, they've been working on this deal 6 months. It was in May of last year when they had to give up the exclusive rights to show fights on regular television. So if you go back 6 months, that's around about the time after they had to give up the exclusive rights that De La Hoya and them started doing stuff with ESPN to make a deal happen. De La Hoya and them, they're going to do this whole face-off. They're going to do like a in-your-face type thing. You know, they're going to do like this 30-minute thing before the fight. That's something else that PBC used to do. So all it really is it's another platform that Golden Boy is trying to use to showcase up-and-coming star fighters so we can get familiar with them until they're ready to be put on HBO. Because, again, right now it has become abundantly clear to a lot of people HBO is not as interested in showing boxing on their network as they used to be in the past. So when you have a stable of fighters, you want everybody to see them, what do? You have to put them on something. So this move does not surprise me, but it just goes to show that inevitably the Al Haymon method of trying to put, you know, regular fights, like people always say, oh, this ain't going to work. This, you know, nobody wants to see fights on regular TV. Well, Oscar and them have already shown you that to a certain degree they realize what Al Haymon started is something that may be coming into fruition, because if you have a lot of fighters and you have a network that's not going to show them, well, you got to put them on something. That's why I used to tell everybody, I love Showbox, because that's where I saw Keith Thurman. That's where I saw the Earl Spencers and the Gary Russell Jr. was on Showbox. Showbox, matter of fact, Showbox just had a fight recently where they did the same thing. So it's a good move, man. It's good for boxing. Like I said, I'm high on Jojo Diaz, Diego De La Hoya. I'm high on these guys. So it's a good move for boxing, man. I'm not going to shit on it because it helps boxing. And as we say all the time, boxing is the brand, man. So good move. Just let's be realistic now. This is not the original move. And hopefully, you know, this is a success. And we'll see. I got a feeling we're going to see more moves like this. And, hey, man, let's see what happens.
Man, I'm not going to shit on the move. I'm just going to shit on the double standard. You know, we already know what it was when PBC was doing this kind of stuff. The quality of boxing is yada, 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 and it went down. The quality is horrible. You're going to see the same kind of stuff, developing fighters. I mean, you're not even going to get the quality of a DSG versus Paulie Malignaggi. or you're not going to even get a simple fight like that. It's going to be basic stuff, which is nothing wrong with that. We need to see these prospects growing. We need to become familiar with their faces, this is a good platform to do it. So I'm all for it at the end of the day, but you know what I'm saying, I'm just going to shit on the double standard more than anything. Support this shit, man. Everybody that was saying, the monopoly was on with PBC, okay, we got an even playing field now. That shit's been thrown out the window. So, I don't want to see too many more complaints about what PBC is doing to fuck up boxing. I mean, I just want to see the full thing. We got a level playing field between these companies now. Let's have a level playing field amongst the fans and the criticism. Let me go ahead and pass it on. You're a bit cool on this one, man. What are your thoughts on this deal with Golden Boy?
I mean, like I said, it's good just because we get more boxing, and like Bo said, we get to be more, familiar with, the up and coming fighters Golden Boy has. But like you said, we're not even gonna get C-level matchups or B-level matchups. Not even C-level matchups, which is the bad thing about it, because who JoJo Diaz gonna face? You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of Oscar trying to, stop the boat from sinking any way he can, and hopefully it's successful for him. Because like I said, I like Oscar, even though he kind of can be shady at times. But like I said, his name is good for boxing, and he does have a few fighters that could, make some noise. But again, if he's not going to work with any other promoters, I don't see this being a long-term success. You know what I'm saying? But he has Fidel Maldonado, who was supposed to fight Victor, what's his name, or Zoko, or whatever. I mean, that fight could, yeah, that fight could be rescheduled. That'll be a quality fight between two guys who brings it. But like I said, it's not looking good for Golden Boy. But we got to give him a chance. Like we told people to give PBC a chance, whether it was a double standard or not. This is what we have, so we got to give him a chance and hope for the best, because we all love boxing and we want boxing to succeed any way it can. So I think it's something good for Golden Boy if they can make it work and give us quality matchups. But if not, we'll be talking about this in a year from now, saying, another failed experiment. So, we'll see.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Bernard on this one, man. You got any thoughts of, what you can expect from Golden Boy here with these cards? Like we said, it's a 2-year deal, and it's going to be spread out over their ESPN's ladder network. So it's nothing on the major channels. A lot of it is going to be on ESPN Deportes. One of the issues that people I've seen brought up today in a couple of the groups is the diversity in Golden Boy's roster. That was something that I've seen someone bring up today as far as who are they bringing up other than Hispanic fighters and whatnot. So, I mean, I don't want to get too much into the race thing, but do you think this may be an issue, possibly, and them bringing up prospects or, just to viewers in general, to the public?
Just for us, we like boxing, so we're going to look at it regardless. I could see them using their roster, their majority Hispanic roster, to pull in more Hispanic fans on those channels. It's a benefit to them. I see it as that. But I would have to agree with one thing. I agree with what Bo said. Well, that's not shit on it because it's a good move. I look at it as a good move on the business sense for the Hispanic, with the roster and everything. But I also do want to shit on the double standard, though, on how, when I read the article, how Dan Raphael said this is a good move and everything with ESPN and everything like that. But when he didn't say that when it came down to PBC. So the double standard, yeah. So the double standard.
Yeah, man. You already know what my thing, and Dan, I don't like saying his fucking name. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay.
Nathan's hot dog eater. That's what I like to call him, man.
I call him Fat Dan. So
he's a disgrace to fucking journalism, and for him to be the face figure of boxing journalism, it's ridiculous. He ain't no Burt Sugar.
One of the leader of the casuals.
He got that title by default, man, because he works with ESPN, so let's not really put too much stock in that.
Basically, I'm glad to see the folks like us and, the underground writers, you know, the YTBC and everybody that got their channels up. I'm glad to see the underground writers, you know, starting to take over. You know, people don't really pay attention to ESPN like that no more.
Well, here's a little something that I'm going to bring up and make it quick. This is to give you guys an example of how social media is well aware of Dan Rafael. There was a tweet, guys, shout out to King Corleone. He said, Jeff Horn fight Manny Pacquiao, Dan Rafael, I guess this doesn't bug your disgrace button. And Dan Rafael tweeted back, well, if it's happening in Australia, it makes sense. And then the guy tweeted back, so I guess Floyd should have fought Berto in Haiti. You know? So that's like Dan Rafael is trying to justify the Pacquiao-Horn fight because we know he shitted on Berto and Mayweather. He's justifying the fight by saying, well, it's happening in Australia, it makes sense. Okay, instead of calling it what everybody else is calling it, which is, we all know what it is. He's fighting in Australia because they can't sell that shit over here in America, Dan. So, but that's just to let you guys know there are people who have taken notice to the double standard from him and ESPN.
Okay.
All right. Just to let you know, we do have a guest coming on tonight. We got Anthony Dirrell coming on in a bit, in a few. That said, we're gonna touch on this topic a little bit and actually get his intake or his take on the situation. You know, being that it's his division. This next topic actually, Badou Jack. You know, just came out with the draw against James DeGale, a week or two ago. It's looking like he's vacated his WBC title, and he's moving up to 175. Post-press conference, you know, they made a lot of noise as far as Floyd Mayweather and him making that name, saying they're going directly after Adonis Stevenson at 175. You know, I'm not mad at him. You know what I'm saying? 33 years old, that boy out to get it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at it. He's staking his claim. He ain't going for no chump shit moving up. If you're going to vacate, that's the way to do it, and for that reason. You know, because there's a lot of money on the table for a possible rematch, even though there's going to be some hang-ups in making it. With that said, let me get you guys take I'll go ahead and start with Bernard on this one, man. What's your thoughts as far as Badou Jack vacating, and you know, how do you see him doing that in 175?
Like last week, like I said, I didn't like the move. I thought he should have fought again in 168, but we're past it. Now that he's moved to 175, I don't think it's a good move for him. Me personally, the only person I think he could beat in that division, the co-people, is Pascal, Cleverly, maybe Shabansky.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't see against the elite. He lose the war on points. Adonis Stevenson knocks him out, and Kovalev murders him. So,
I mean, there's some decent names he could go against, man. Like I could see him actually, like you said, beating up Shabransky. You know, possibly getting with a Fonfara, you know, Alvarez. There's some guys that he could fair roll against, and, you know, Cleverly is the regular champ, so if they wanted to get an easy strap, you know, that's where I would set my sights, you know, immediately. I'd go after him. But that's simple. Let me go ahead and pass it to your partner in crime, Bo. 168 division is pretty much looking like it's up in the air with the vacation of this belt, or with him vacating the belt, the WBC is at least. What do you think is going to happen as far as how do you see the picture clearing? You know, when it's all said and done, how do you see the fog clearing with this in that division? You know, now that Badou Jack is gone, obviously I think he was the best fighter at 168, proved it. You know, I thought he beat DeGale. You know, the Dirrells, of course, are actually up there to me as well, but they just haven't gotten their second chance at titles. But how do you see everything, the smoke unsettling in that division?
It's still kind of up in the air. That's really hard to call because you got Gilberto Ramirez. He's still there, and I hate to say this, but you got that shit with the fucking fake wannabe organization named. I'm not even gonna say their name, but it's similar to the WBO. That's all I'm gonna give them. I can't give them no more than that. But you gotta.
Hold on.
You gotta. Motherfucker, I'm talking. Respect your dad.
Shout out to the IBO. Team, you
man. So
yeah,
you got
you check that shit out, man.
Right, yeah. So you got that. You got that situation over there. And then I think Anthony Dirrell and is supposed to be fighting. They say Anthony Dirrell and Callum Smith is supposed to be fighting to probably to fight for that vacant belt. So whoever wins there can be a player. So it's still open in there, and it's still wide open because after James DeGale fighting Badou Jack, you look at Gilberto Ramirez, he could be a player. The winner of Cole K and Dirrell, who knows, that could be a player. So it's still a good mix going on in that division because you can have some unification fights there. So it's kind of hard to say how this is going to settle out. It really is hard to call because I don't really see now. I mean, with Badou Jack going, I can't really see how you can say one person or other can dominate. Like I can see Gilberto Ramirez giving James DeGale some problems. Okay, I can see Anthony Dirrell and Gilberto Ramirez. With his experience, I can see one of them winning that fight. So I like it right now. I mean, you don't know who's going to come out winning. That's kind of what you need in boxing, especially in this division. But they got to fight each other, though. That's the thing.
I
would disagree with something.
Let me go ahead and hold on, Bernard. That's actually a good point you made, Bo, about weight divisions with a lot of disparity in them. It's good to have that lack of disparity where everything's even. I like to see those kind of divisions as well. So that's definitely a good point there. Go ahead, Bernard.
Oh, I just wanted to say this. Let's be honest. There's some other players in the mix. You got the Jesse Hart, who I think is a phenomenal boxer. Got that heart, got that dog in him. I don't see. At this point in time, if Gilberto Ramirez is under the top rank, I don't see them actually trying to make a unification bout. Anything under top rank in the WBO with them, I don't see them. And it's a shame that I hate to say that because it's Bob's business practice here. He'll keep everything in-house. But I do see a couple guys, like I said, it's good. It's open season right now for anybody to get the belts. We got the Smith and Jarrell going for the WBC. We got DeGale holding the IBF. I don't even have a clue who's holding the WBA, either the super one or even the regular one. So
they don't have that issue in the 168 with the super or the regular, fortunately.
Okay, wow, that's good. That's good. That's really good.
He is a no-name guy, though. Don't nobody know who the hell he is.
Well, let Anthony Dirrell get a shot at him then. I mean, Andre Dirrell get a shot at him, too.
I mean, the way things are shaping up, Badou Jack vacating, like you said, the rematch wasn't going to happen anyway because Callum Smith is mandatory. There was no way to get around that shit. So for everybody that was clamoring for the DeGale Badou Jack rematch, it's going to have to happen at another weight class. Callum Smith was next in line. That's what it was before. We already knew that's what it was going to be before this fight was signed between DeGale and Jack. He was in next in line to face the winner. But Badou Jack vacating, it looks like Callum Smith will be facing our supposed guest on the show, Anthony Dirrell. Had some hang-ups, unfortunately, but they'll be fighting for the vacant belt, which I think is an excellent fight, man, because, like Dirrell is only one fight removed, not one fight removed, but he basically lost to Badou Jack. That's the only guy he's lost to as a pro. And like we said, Badou was pretty much the top of the class, one of the top of the class at 168. So, he's been due for some redeem time, get his chance back at the top, and his brother as well, I think. So it's good to see him, getting back in there for that WBC title that he lost to Badou Jack. and, getting a chance at it. That is the premier belt in boxing. That's a big honor to have. Let me go ahead and pass it to the Bo on this one. Well, we already did that. I guess Anthony won't be able to make it on with us tonight. He has some things to come up. But we'll go into our next topic with that said. Next topic is we got Vasyl Lomachenko versus Jezreel Corrales unification, looking like it's going to be coming up in April on HBO. Not really a surprise to us. We knew they were going to go after unification in the division for Vasyl. I'll go ahead and start with Bo on this one. What are your thoughts on this fight taking place? I can't say it's a hand pick 'em or nothing like that, but it is what it is, man. It just ain't nobody there that compete with them at 130. I think right now, well, there is. I think Kevin Farmer honestly will, but other than that, out of the champs, I don't know, man. Bro, what's your take on this fight happening? What do you see happening in this fight, or what do you see happening after this fight for Vasyl?
Well, remember, I had said a while back when Jezreel Corrales won that fight, I said, that would be interesting to see him go up against Vasyl Lomachenko. And I said that because of Corrales' win the first fight. Then I saw the second fight, and like I said, maybe he was just trying to go for the knockout. Maybe that's why the second fight kind of seemed, Jezreel Corrales is wild. The thing about a wild fighter, when you're a technically sound fighter and you fight a wild fighter, is you're kind of going to be hesitant to let your hands go because you don't want to get hit with one of them wild shots that you can't see. So in that aspect, Jezreel Corrales is busy. Jezreel Corrales can punch. So I think in certain aspects he will give Lomachenko trouble, as he would probably make Lomachenko hesitant to let his hands go, only because of his he's so unorthodox with how he throw punches, and he's wild, okay? But at the same time, Vasyl Lomachenko's skill set is just way, way better than Jezreel Corrales. So like you said, and I said this also, I don't see anybody beating him at 130 pounds. He'll probably run into some trouble at 135. There's some guys at 135 that I do believe that can probably test him.
Will. No problem.
Okay, well,
he will.
There are some guys at 135, that I would love to see him fight up against when he gets there. But at 130, no. I said to him before he won the title, I said, when I heard he went into that division, I said, he's the man. I don't see nobody in that division at 130 that's going to beat him, You mentioned Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer was in sparring camp. He was one of the sparring guys, I think, for Vasyl Lomachenko. So he's familiar with him. So that from that aspect, you're right. That would be a good matchup. Like Tevin Farmer's really coming a long way. Okay, Devontae Tank Davis, no, he's not ready for Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm glad he won the title. He's not ready for Vasyl Lomachenko. Jason Sosa, another good, skilled, talented fighter, but he's not ready for Vasyl Lomachenko. And Francisco Vargas, he's tough. He's extremely tough. He's a come-forward type of pressure type of fighter, but again, he's not ready. Jose Fortuna. So I can see Vasyl Lomachenko having great success at 130 pounds. I like this fight. It's it's unification fight, so you can't get mad at it. Exactly. And the Jezreel Corrales is going to bring it. I like this fight from this aspect. It's not some guy that they're fighting that hasn't fought in a long time. This is the guy that just had back-to-back fights. When he won the title, then he gave the champion a rematch. So I like this fight. It's a unification fight. It's where the guy that's big is, where the guy that's going to come in with some confidence, and it's the guy that's going to come to bring something. But I still got Vasyl Lomachenko winning this fight. And after this fight, I suspect maybe he'll make like a title defense, and then look to see, because it's kind of what I'm curious. I don't think Floyd Mayweather has already said that he's not going to put Tank Davis nor close to Vasyl Lomachenko right now. So we already know that's not going to happen anytime soon. And the fight, the Francisco Vargas fight, now that's a fight that could be made after the Jezreel Corrales fight later on in the year for another unification bout. So I like it. They seem to be going in a good direction for it, but I do want to say that the fight that eventually does need to happen is we do need to see Vasyl Lomachenko fight Orlando Salido, because he needs to get that get back. As long for all those out there who get angry when people bring up Salido's name, all I'm going to say to you is, in order for that to go away, he has to fight this dude, and he has to beat him. And this is not us shitting on him. This is not me shitting on Lomachenko. I'm just saying, for all those that get sick of hearing people say how Salido beat him, the only way that can be erased is he needs to fight Salido again and beat him. He needs to get his get back. Until then, y'all have to deal with people always letting y'all know that he did, that he lost to him.
All right, let me pass it on to Big Cool on this one. Do you see this being Vasyl's last fight at 130 and them possibly making the move to 135 immediately after? Because it was talked about even after his fight against Martinez when he won it. So do you see this being his final fight at 130?
I mean, it could be. I mean, who else is he gonna fight other than Salido? And there's a lot of fights that we would love to see him in, but for reasons we know aren't possible or unlikely to happen. So, I mean, I guess he has to jump up, to 135. But like Bo said, he definitely needs to face Salido and avenge that loss. That's the only way to, do it. It's to right that wrong. It's to defeat him. And I thought we was gonna get that fight because they were in the negotiations. But I'm not mad at the unification belt. You know what I'm saying? If he can, unify the division and become the best in that division, go for it. But it's definitely, I would like to see him face better competition. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people get mesmerized with his skill set, which is great, but his resume isn't the best, and that's just my opinion. I might get killed for that, but, he fought some good fighters, but he hasn't really been tested. Yeah, he fought Salido, and so really that pound-for-pound stuff got to be on hold, in my opinion. If we're going to do it for Triple G, we got to do it for Vasyl Lomachenko. He got the skills, but the resume and the opponent doesn't equal up. So I'd like to see him test himself against the true upper echelon guys in his division that he's fighting in. But he's with Top Rank, and we know how they roll. So
I'd definitely like to see him with one of those high risk, low reward guys. That can bring it to him. I definitely would like to see that happen. But Top Rank, they're known for the in-house thing. So it may limit some of his foes, but we'll keep an eye out on it. I'm looking forward to the fight.
But you know what, though? But what I want to say is what y'all brought up, and this is what I want everybody to understand. We're not saying this is what Vasyl Lomachenko don't want to do. We understand Vasyl Lomachenko fight whoever he put in front of him. We're saying his promoter, Bob Arum, and his team, they like keeping stuff in-house. So the fights that we're saying that we want to see him fight may not come into play because of how that company Top Rank roll. It has nothing to. I think people take it too personal sometimes when it comes to Lomachenko. We're not saying that this is Lomachenko. No, that's not what we're saying. We already know this is a guy with over 400 almost 400 amateur fights and one loss. So we already know he's not worried about who he fights. He'll fight anybody. We know this. But we're saying his company he's with is going to be reluctant to make certain steps and certain moves. That has nothing to do with Lomachenko. That's why I said we have to put pressure on Arums and them and say, hey, man, like we've mentioned, make this Orlando Salido fight or make this other fight. But Silly don't care who he fight. He got the skill set to fight anybody and possibly beat anybody. We know this. But it's his company, guys. It's not the man. It's the company.
Yeah, so that's all we're saying. I'm glad Bo said that, man.
Good point, Bo. We're going to take it on to our next topic that just hit the waves a couple of days ago. Richard Schaeffer, man, he out here doing it, man. One card in. He trying to make moves over to the UK now. He got a collab that was just announced with David Haye, starting with the David Haye Tony Bello fight coming up. They have a joint venture together. David Haye, smart business move. You can't go wrong with Dick Schaeffer, Tricky Diggy. Let me get y'all's take on this move. I'll go ahead and start with Bernard, man. What do you think this venture means for Richard Schaeffer and David? I'll get your take on Richard Schaeffer, and I'll ask one of the other panelists about it.
Well, no, actually, I was going to stick with the David Haye one because I think
Okay, go ahead, man.
I'm going to say this. If you look at the press conference between David Haye and Tony Bello and the comments that Haye made directed towards Eddie Hearns and his practices, I think this is pretty much more of David Haye trying to do his own thing and try to get under the skin of Eddie Hearns by getting with somebody as big as Richard Schaeffer to promote fights in the UK. I think it's a good move. it's competition, it's promotion, and hopefully it whatever that Haye had against Hearns, that he doesn't bring it onto the fighters he put under their promotional team, their joint venture. Hopefully we see some good fights, and hopefully we can see Hearns and David Haye work together. So that's all I got to say about it.
All right. Let me get your take on what do you think this means for Richard Schaeffer as far as getting his foot in the door over in the UK, and possibly having, I guess, some of the American fighters, affiliated with the PBC brand going over there for more fights.
It's great, it's great. It's going to, broaden their exposure, not just fighting in America, but fighting over there in the UK, and, give some competition to her, because Richard Schaeffer is great at this, He just signed Olympic gold medal heavyweight, I don't know, I forgot his name, but he just signed him to his promotional company this week, which is a
Carlos Barrera.
Yeah. So he just signed him. So Richard Schaeffer definitely knows what he's doing. He's going to try to, put those keys over there in the UK. And like I said, he works close with Al Heyman. So we got Wilder and some more up and coming heavyweights over here. So I mean, it's great. And David Haye, you got to give him kudos for making a smart business decision and linking up with Richard Schaeffer. But it was only natural anyway, because I believe Al Heyman is still his advisor. So that was the only, natural move to do it anyway, to link up with a guy who, brought Golden Boy to his highest of heights, along with, I guess you want to say, Al Heyman. And I think it'll be good. He knows what he's doing. He can work with any promoter, not named Bob Arum. So I think that, not to throw shots at Bob Arum, right? You know what I mean? He's difficult to
Shots
work with.
Fired.
Shots fired. What I'm saying? But yeah, he works well with pretty much any promoter not named Bob Arum, and I think it'll be a good marriage, if you want to call it, categorize it that. But like I said, he's gonna give Hearn some competition. He's gonna broaden the exposure from not only the heavy guys, but also some of the other guys from over here, and vice versa.
Hey, I got a question. For all y'all on the panel. Is it me or is it Al Heyman really? He getting other promoters involved. Like he this year he's bringing out. I mean, when I mean other promoters, he's getting other promoters that's going to be pretty much somewhat under him or somewhat working real close to him. We understand last year he made the move with working with Eddie Hearns. You see that. Now you see him bring his back Richard Schaeffer, and they promoted his first card at the end of last year, which was great. Now he got another foot in the UK through David Haye.
I think it's pretty much Al leads the shit, but he also listens to his fighters. You know what I'm saying? If a fighter want to fight, he's gonna try his best to get it done. So I mean, yeah, it's good to build a relationship with other promoters, but I think if he makes a move, because he's the advisor, he advises the move, but also some of his fighters actually do want to fight the best. So if they go to him and say, "Look, I want to fight this guy," of course he's gonna try to make it happen. So I think that he's just going off the wants of his fighters. So that's how I think these relationships are coming about.
One of the things people fail to remember, Richard Schaeffer is an excellent matchmaker, man. So he's aiming shit, that's one of the things that he has filled out with Golden Boy. The man knows his shit when it comes to boxing. I think he's going to help PBC go to new heights as far as with his matchmaking capabilities. We've seen that already with the J-Rock, Julian Williams card. That was his first card back in, first one. He's definitely going to, I think, I'm looking forward to seeing this one. I'm not quite sure what kind of a mark he can make in the UK yet, because it seems like Eddie Hearn pretty much, I won't say he has a stranglehold, but he is the dominant promoter over there.
Him and Frank Warren.
Well, Frank Warren's not really that. Like, when it comes to competition-wise, I don't think Frank Warren is doing as good as Matchroom. That's just my take from what I see, even though I've seen lately a lot of fighters from Matchroom are going over to Frank Warren now, so like Bo was saying, there might be something there, as far as, David Haye having an issue.
Yeah, when I called it out at that press conference.
Yeah, so that there might actually be something brewing further deeper there, because there's been a lot of fighters going over to Frank Warren. You know, Tyrone Nurse being one of them. Chris Eubanks, you know, he's now with Frank Warren as well over there with their newly launched IFL series that they're going to be doing. So definitely something to keep your eye on when it comes to the Matchroom. I don't know what it is, but it's just something small I've taken note to just in the past month or so with fighters moving over from Matchroom to Frank Warren. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on, and something they might be able to take advantage of between David Haye and Richard Schaeffer. So that's one of the things I would be paying attention to with this venture. Bo, you got anything you want to add on this one?
Yeah, I think what people need to see is that there's always been an issue, as of recently, between David Haye and Hearns, and Eddie Hearns. Also, James, remember Floyd Mayweather was trying to lure James DeGill over to his side, because I guess DeGill contracted, he's a free agent right now. So there's some shake-up and some moves going on. I like this move because what you're going to see is you're going to get a lot of American fighters probably being given a chance to be seen or more exposure to the UK market, and then you get to see a lot of UK fighters being seen and being shown over here in the American market, because they know probably more of our fighters in the UK than we know of their fighters over here in America. So I think this is going to be good in that aspect. I mean, because we all know how UK fans are. They're very loyal. They come out and they watch they fight, and and they watch their fighters fight. So it's a good move. David Haye, Richard Schaeffer also signed 2 more Olympians from Mexico and Lithuania. So it's a good move. David Haye is making some noise. Wow. And it just goes to show it just goes to show how boxing is spreading. Boxing is spreading, and the thing about anything in business is you got to go where the demand is. Okay, and I hate to say it, but it's true, and you can condemn me all you want. But right now, the market is as far as fan base wise and excitement wise, and fans being into fight, the market is over in the UK right now, or over that way.
Anywhere,
we talk about all the time.
The United States, anywhere but the United States, basically.
Exactly. So I don't blame them for making this move. It's a good move. I like this. Again, if it helps boxing, I tell people all the time, I don't have an agenda. If it helps boxing, I'm all for it. And this helps boxing, and it's good to see it, because now like we said, we'll have more of their fighters being seen over here, so people know who their fighters are. And then we'll have more of our fighters being broadcast over there, so it opens up the platform as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, we've talked to a number of guests on our show in the short time we've been on. We had Manny Robles on last week, and he talked about just how overwhelmed he was with seeing how the crowd was and the difference, man. We spoke me and Big Cool spoke with Deontay Wilder a couple weeks ago with our interview. He mentioned the same thing, saying, how to support, their basis, their support foundation is just a whole lot different compared to here in the States, man. So, I mean, it's something I don't want to say we had to mirror, but it's something we need to try and emulate in a way, get that excitement back here. I don't know what it's going to take, but, I'm definitely happy for this venture. And seeing what kind of talent David Haye could pull from the UK as well, that's going to be interesting to see if he has that talent to pull people in and attract talent to him. With that said, we're going to go on to our next topic. It's something that Bo alluded to a little bit earlier as far as David Lemieux possibly having a match. It's looking like him and Curtis Stevens are a go. This has been in brewing for a while. They had some Twitter rumblings last year, and things didn't come together, but it's looking like things are happening now. Curtis Stevens versus David Lemieux. Pretty good fight, man. I'm not mad at this one at all, man. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Big Cool on this one. Let me get your take on it.
Man, I love this fight. I used to favor Stevens, but after seeing his last fight, I don't know, against De La Rosa. He was getting hurt by De La Rosa, who's a good puncher, but he's not on the level of Lemieux. Man, it's going to be an explosive fight. I don't see it going 12 rounds, 6 rounds tops, but some of these fights surprise us and go the distance. But both of these guys Got, huge power, suspect chins, been knocked out before, been knocked down plenty of times. I favor Lemieux. I think he's a slightly fresher fighter. But it should be an explosive fight. And HBO, kind of rebounded nicely with this fight. And I think it's going to be a great fight. I think we probably potentially get a knockout of the year candidate from this fight. But like I said, I favor Lemieux. I don't think he's a better fighter, but I just think that he can take a punch slightly better than Stephens, especially at this stage in his career. And Stephens kind of tends to, mentally check out. You can see the expression on his face. De La Rosa was just talking shit to him, and he was you could just tell he was getting frustrated. And I don't know, he had said somebody's shoulder or hand was hurt. He kind of makes a lot of excuses, and once he can't knock you out, go back to his fight with Endon. He gets frustrated, and he acts like he forget he has other skills than just being able to punch. So I think Lemieux will be able to get him out of there between 6 and 7 rounds. But it'll be a good fight. I won't be surprised if Steven shots, people picking against him. But like I said, I don't like his attitude when things don't go his way or when he faces adversity. I'm going to go with Lemieux by a 6-round KO. Even though this ain't a big prediction.
I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you saying the possible knockout of the year candidate, KO the year candidate. Like you said, Stevenson, he checks out of fights like he did in his last one. I wasn't impressed. He impressed me in his first fight with John David Jackson. And then, he puts up a stinker against De La Rosa, to where he doesn't let his hands go. He's not in the fight, and I actually thought he lost.
Yeah, I did too.
With that said, I think that, David Lemieux, he's going to come to try to bring it. Hopefully he's done something with his head movement. Fight. Let me go ahead and pass it on to Bo on this one. Your thoughts on the fight, your early prediction, if you want to give one as well.
Look, man, this is one of those fights that depends on which Curtis Stevens shows up. Look, one thing we know about David Lemieux, Gennady Golovkin showed us that you can outbox David Lemieux. And Curtis Stevens does have some good boxing skills, although David Lemieux, I believe, is the taller man. And the one thing we know about Curtis Stevens from Gennady Golovkin is he makes funny faces when you hit him really hard with a hard. When he's hit with a hard punch, he lets you know he's been hit with a hard punch. Damn it, he gonna let you know how that punch felt. Jack. He gonna let you know how that punch felt. So it's an intriguing fight.
Deep in the shit. Woo!
Yeah. Hey. He gonna let you know, baby. He gonna let you know. I felt that motherfucker.
yeah. He wear it all.
It's a good fight. But this is a fight that should have took place last year, but HBO didn't have the money in their budget for it, so it's taking place now. It's an opportunity for Curtis Stevens now to put to bed all the critics and everybody that got something to say about him who feel he's not ready or anything like that. I don't know if you guys watched the interview, the guy at the Boxing Talk. Shout out to that light-skinned nigga whose baby milk energy must have ran out on him. That's why he ain't on. He might be listening. Right, yeah, the Alpha, he might be listening, so he can jump on so he can hear his name. He can rip off his shirt so we can see that A on his chest. But they had interviewed Curtis Stevens' former trainer, Andre Rozier, and he actually talked about Stevens had hurt his hand in that fight and everything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because, like you guys said, the last fight he did not look very impressive. He kind of checked out. And David Lemieux's last fight, since losing to Gennady Golovkin, David Lemieux's been looking good against lower level type competition. And people can get upset and mad at me and say, "Oh, you trying to say Curtis Stevens is lower level competition?" Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck I'm saying. Because let's just keep it real, Curtis Stevens. I'm just saying, people. I'm just saying. I mean, hey, I'm gonna call it what it is. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because Curtis Stevens is a C-level fighter, and he is. I mean, am I wrong?
He could have been a B, but his mentality makes him, takes him down.
Yeah, right. That's what. Yeah, exactly. So he's a C Listen, we don't play favorites over here at the Movement. I don't know about other people, but we don't play favorites here. We call it like it is. If I'm wrong, prove me I'm wrong. Show me one top-level elite motherfucking fighter that this motherfucker beat and looked impressive in doing so, and okay, fine, I'll give it to you. But right now he's a C-level fighter, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. In my opinion, this is where he can put the critics to rest and, man, shock the world, look impressive. Hopefully that's what he's doing. But until then, I'm going to go with David Lemieux only because I didn't like how Curtis Stevens looked even though his hand hurt it. I've seen a lot of fighters with hurt hands, but still keep pressing forward with the fight. He kind of mentally checked out a little bit with that bad hand in that fight. So, I question his he's been in Curtis Stevens has been in some tough spots. So I'm just questioning what's his mental makeup right now? Because when you see a fighter do what he did in the fight, you have to question that. There's no doubt about it. So David Lemieux is the person coming in with the confidence. He's the person coming in with the momentum. He's the person coming in, on the big wave. So let's see what happens. I got David Lemieux though. He may even win by knockout, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Like you said, man, this is definitely a make or break fight for Stevens, man. He's got to turn that fucking corner if he's gonna do it. He can't keep lingering and, just lingering around, man. Shit, or get off the goddamn pot, my day. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely going to be one of those fights, though, and I think David Lemieux has a lot to prove coming off of the Gennady Golovkin massacre. Like, I think he just really wants to get back in there and say he wasn't a fluke. But, it is what it is. With that, we're going to go on to our next topic, and I know we got a certain panelist that's going to love the hell out of this motherfucking topic. Cubano Loco. Man, this is actually a good fight if you think about it. Heavyweights, just two big, strong heavyweights. Louis King Kong Ortiz, possibly against Jarrell Big Baby Miller. I'm going to go ahead and start it off with Bernard on this one. What's your take on this fight?
No, you ain't, motherfucker. No, you're not.
Hey,
you are not.
Man. I'll let you finish off, man. Hold on, I didn't get you to speak on the Curtis Stevens thing, and I had something to say about that one, but I will let that one pass on that one. So I'm gonna say this. I like this fight right here. Two big heavyweights going toe to toe. Man, we know the big Cuban, King Kong, Luis Ortiz, got the excellent boxing skills, the skills from the school of Cuba. And we know Big Baby comes in there to bang, you know what I'm saying? So my prediction already is he's going to go to King Kong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Big Baby leaves some lumps on Luis Ortiz. Jarrell?
No. The casual has come out.
Hey, I wasn't going. Hey, that's all I got to say about that part, man. I will look up.
The casual has come out, and we have to let him go back in his corner for that one.
Hey, y'all let me out on the Curtis Stevens, man. Which I actually had something to say about that, but I'll keep it moving.
All right, man. Bo, since you got the Cuban bias, we'll go ahead and let you go on this one.
Let me tell y'all something. I have never, nor have I ever, not one time, been biased toward a Cuban. And with that being said, let me tell y'all, I like this fight from this aspect. First of all, Luis Ortiz. You guys ain't never said this boy's name right, and but it is what it is. You ungoddamn trained ass tongue lashing motherfucker.
I say it right. I swear I did.
No, it's Luis Ortiz.
Man, look, man,
y'all
we can't
do
roll
This motherfucker because he can roll this goddamn Mars, man. Just because he can roll this goddamn Mars.
Get to the point.
I actually like this fight, and I like it from this aspect of if you're not going to be fighting for the championship title, which he all know he fucking should, okay, at least fight a good quality opponent. And after Malik Scott, after David Allen, you need a fight like this. You need a Big Baby Miller. Now, I want everybody to understand something. The reason why this is Eddie Hearns trying to steer him away from a possible matchup with the winner of Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko, because he is supposed to fight the winner of that fight. And I don't think he wants to make that fight right now, because he's looking at if Joshua wins, if Joshua will to fight in the future, later on down the line. So he's trying to stir Luis Ortiz in another direction, because Big Baby Miller, I believe, is ranked number 4. Is that in the WBO? If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's ranked number 4 in the WBO. So, yeah, right, yeah, he's ranked number 4 in the WBO. So he's just trying to steer him away from the WBA. Luis Ortiz should be fighting for a title, bottom line. But if you're not going to fight for a title, then you fight quality opponents. So I like this because we hopefully will get to be reminded of what Luis Ortiz and who he is, and he can show us this in this fight. But now don't get it twisted. Big Baby Miller is another guy who comes to fight. Big guy, throws punches. My only concern with Big Baby Miller is his conditioning. I haven't really seen him go a long time. And you can say the same thing with Luis Ortiz, but I know Luis Ortiz's skill set is a little bit higher than Big Baby Miller. But I'm not going to count Big Baby Miller out. I want to see what's going to be like when Big Baby Miller feels Luis Ortiz's power. What's his reaction going to be? When Luis Ortiz feels a true heavyweight's power, who can pop, what's his reaction going to be? So it's a very interesting fight. Luis Ortiz, of course, is going to win this fight, hands goddamn down. Cubano, Viva la Cuba is in the casa. But I like this fight. It's a very good fight, okay? Mira, todos mis panas escuchándome. Eso es bueno, orgulloso de mucho de mi país también. All right, everybody, go ahead, y'all.
I'm changing my pick. I want Big Baby to stretch Luis Ortiz.
Just for that shit, huh? Just so you can't speak no more Spanish on the show.
Yes.
And truth and facts about boxing is not hiring for a new partner. Malachi, come join me on Truth and Facts, Malachi.
Hey, me and Malachi can do our own show, The Real Truth and Facts about boxing.
That is hilarious, man. But you actually brought up a good point. Man, Big Baby Miller, the endurance is going to be an issue. We've heard about things in his training, him sparring with Wilder and being left with a concussion in the hospital. And I just think it's a fight that he's going to be overzealous in, man. If you don't get Ortiz out early, it's going to be an easy night for the Cuban, man. And, one thing you can't take away from Ortiz is that Cuban School of Boxing, he's got some intelligence, you know what I'm saying? He knows how to bait motherfuckers in the traps, and I see Big Baby getting caught with something out of this motherfucking world. Lights out, as Bernard would say. I just see it happening. I don't know what it is, but, he's just too aggressive for a guy like Luis Ortiz.
He squares himself up, too. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said this fight is a good fight, because he's going to come at Lewis. He's not going to be like Malik Scott was, running around that ring. David Allen didn't even have the experience. That fight never should have freaking happened. But Miller is going to come at Luis Ortiz, which is going to give him a chance to get his offense. Like that, fighters like that is how Luis Ortiz shines. When guys are coming at him and he gets to let that offense go, that's why I like this.
Like when he fought Coyote, I mean, he a counterpuncher, so he definitely gonna set something up, and Miller gonna walk right into it, man. Like Twan said, he aggressive. He does square up. His conditioning gonna be a big part. It's gonna play a big part in this fight. I mean, because he's gonna come to fight, which is great because Ortiz needs to be pushed, especially coming off of these long layoffs and continue to shake off that rust. But I just think he'll look too green and lack the proper skills to really hang with Ortiz for long stretches of this fight. So I expect him to give a good effort, but get knocked out,
And I don't think the endurance is an issue for Ortiz, man. You got to remember, he went against the Bye Jennings, with the
I'm talking about Miller.
I was just responding to something that Bo had said earlier. But you got to think he went 7-8 rounds with Brian Jennings with the fucking flu. You know what I'm saying? And still got a knockout. So, I mean, I won't say the sky is the limit, but I don't think we've seen everything we can see from Ortiz, As far as Miller, I think he's kind of got a limited skill set. And, you know, it might be too soon. He may have needed to take a fight like Thurman, you know, when it was actually offered to him. You know, that would have been a good one to get some good experience in.
For Jennings, if he can fight him, you know. But, hey.
Yeah, he definitely looked impressive in his last fight, but, you know, he needs to get some real tangible names on there, you know, when you're talking about fighting a guy like Luis Ortiz, who's, I won't say he's the boogeyman of the heavyweight division, but it's looking like that because he can't seem to get the fights. You know, even the shit that he's supposed to be getting, he can't get with the WBA. You know, but
that nigga gonna be 50 before he get another shot. He's already old, so.
Yeah, you know them Cuban records. You know that nigga Bo. He's
probably 65,
but Bo like 65. Yeah.
Hello, pause, y'all. Y'all gonna stop with them cheap shots, man.
La sistema de recuerdos is muy fucked up. It's muy fucked up. Muy. But we gotta go into our next topic, man. Man, this is actually one I like too. There's nothing been officially set yet, but it's in the works, and it's based off of something else that's occurring in the 154 division. You know, as we all know, Jermell Charlo pretty much said his fight with J-Rock would be his last one at 154. Him
Jermell.
And Jermell. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, he good.
Okay, that was most likely his last fight at 154. So ultimately, he may be vacating the 154. Like I said, it's not official yet. He may be vacating his IBF title, though. With that said, Tony Harrison, you know, he was the mandatory, you know, to fight for that belt next. But it's looking like they're in talks to fight Jarrett Hurd. I don't know if it's going to be for a title eliminator or if it will be for the actual belt. So we have to wait and see how this pans out over the next couple weeks. I have a feeling it's going to end up being for the title. With that said, man, the 154, man, this year. I mean, I won't even say this year because we just had Charlo ended out the last year. You know, that fight ended out last year. But, you know, 154 is doing some things right now. Young guns fighting each other. Man, what you guys think of this fight, man? I'll go ahead and start off with Bernard on this one. What you think, man?
I love this fight. I really do. I've been watching Jarrett Hurd for a while. He's an up-and-coming. He was a prospect. I felt that he became a contender. I mean, we gave him prospect of the year last year, right? I think we gave him prospect of the year last year with our vote.
Yeah. Possibly. I don't know.
But let me digress on that part. But, yeah, it doesn't matter. I was expecting him to become a contender to go get some B-level fighters this year to make a name for himself. But if he gets this shot against Tony Harrison for the IBF junior middleweight title, I have no problem in it. The only issue I have with Jarrett Hurd is how he boxes. He boxes successfully. He got good defense. He got power. He's a little too flat-footed. I like to see him on his toes, moving around, using the ring a lot, using the ring. Sometimes he gets in that defensive shell, and he takes a little bit. I don't want to say take some hit that he only said he could take. Just move around a little bit. I want to see that and see how he gonna play against Tony Harrison. Other than that, I see it's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a good fight.
Do you have an early prediction for that one? I definitely want to hear yours, man. Coming from a casual standpoint with two fairly young guys, do you have an early take for this one?
Oh man, you think? Do I think it's gonna be a lights out situation?
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what? Because if I count,
I mean, because we did see Tony get knocked out by
Andrade,
Willie
right?
Nelson. Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. And Willie Nelson got knocked out by Andrade, right?
Yeah. But Willie Nelson was the guy that beat Tony Harrison by knockout, even though Harrison was up big on the cards at the time of the stoppage. So that's something to take note of. Hurd's a big 154 as well. They're both pretty big guys, but, Hurd seems like he's somebody that could go up to 160 easily.
Hey, hold on. Ain't that we call him Tavon, right? That's Tavon, right? You mean Tavon.
Hey.
What's up?
Harrison beat the guy that Hurd beat, but on the undercard of Porter Thurman recently. When did the fight?
I think, you know what? That's a good question.
Hurd beat Molina, I think, on the undercard of Porter and Thurman.
Yeah, and Harrison knocked him. Did he knock him? Yeah, he knocked him out on the undercard of, what was the undercard he fought on?
No, I don't think he fought Molina.
It was somebody a credible dude. Hold on, let me do it.
Who, Jarrett Hurd?
No,
Jarrett Hurd fought Molina.
Jarrett Hurd fought Molina, and Jarrett Hurd fought Molina, and Jarrett Hurd fought a guy before Molina. He fought Galazza. And both of them dudes were undefeated. Those were his coming out party fights. Yeah, those were his coming out party fights.
No, I was talking about. I thought Harrison had fought Molina as well. It was a fight. He looked good in that fight. Hold on.
Well, as for my pick right now, I'm gonna go with Hurd. I want to say mid to late round stoppage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed with Hurd whenever I see him. I'm just really impressed with him. I'm big on Tony too. But since that Willie Nelson thing, I'm just not sure if he gets put. Well, he actually proved us wrong in one of his other fights too. So I can't even say that because, the critics were out for him. When he went against Rabchenko.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, nobody thought he would beat Rabchenko, and he knocked his ass out. So you can't really go against him. He faced some odds, and he was up on the cards against Willie Nelson, even in the fight he did lose. So he's definitely a highly skilled guy. He seems a whole lot more focused since that fight as well.
That's a Antoine. Yeah.
You got to get the boy on the show for us, man. You've been lagging on that one. But let me get Bo's take on this fight. What's your thoughts on this fight?
I like this fight. It's a good fight. Now, listen, I got Jarrett Hurd to win. I'm going to tell you why I picked Jarrett Hurd to win. The thing about Harrison is he needs to work on his defense. His offense is there. It's great. We know this. He needs to work on his defense. He needs to work more on his movement. He got to stop giving up space. Like when he was fighting Willie Nelson, he was, although he was winning the fight, but you can see Nelson kept coming forward, and Harrison during the latter half of that fight, instead of head moving or moving his head, he would just put his hands up, and he messed around. He got caught on the temple. Now that can happen to anybody. But the problem here is Jarrett Hurd, when you do that, you put your hands up on your head, he has an excellent uppercut that he will hit you with. Go back and watch the Galazza fight. Go back and watch the Molina fight. He hit both them dudes with excellent uppercuts. He has good range, and he has good range, good space, good ring generalship in Jarrett Hurd. So I like this fight from a skill set level. Hurd has him all day, in my opinion. Hurd is the guy with the better defense. Hurd is also the guy probably with the better punch variation, meaning he goes up and down, body, head, and he uses his jab a lot more. He has that 78 arm reach advantage, 78-inch arm reach advantage. Harrison is a guy that can pop, but I question during the later half of the fights if Harrison, from a conditioning level, not saying that he gets tired, but he does lose focus sometime in the later half of that fight. If you watch that Willie Nelson fight, there were things he was doing. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you backing up, putting your hands up? Why are you not pumping that jab and moving to your right instead of to his right? Why, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things there. I got Jarrett Hurd winning this fight. It's still a good fight because, like you said, you can't count Harrison out. But I'm going Jarrett Hurd from a skill set level, and I think from an overall because of his defense and his punch variation, I think Hurd can, like my man said, I think Hurd can probably even stop Harrison because he has been stopped before. But it is curious to see what Hurd does or how he handles when he's hit by a big shot. So this is a fight where we can probably see what Hurd is made of as far as his reaction to being hit by a big shot. And then we'll also get to see what Harrison is made of and what he's learned from the Willie Nelson fight.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely. We've seen Tony. He's really good at, when he stays on the outside and uses his boxing, so he's pretty hard to beat, man. So Hurd is going to have to be on this pressure game. We've seen him do that in his previous fights. He breaks guys down over time, slow and methodically. And for him to be, he's a young cat. Both of these guys are young cats, so they're bringing a lot of intelligence to the ring to be there, be as useful as they are. And it's in a very good division, and that's starting to pretty much make itself, by making these big fights between the guys.
They got a new wave of 154 pounds coming in now.
Bernard, you got anything you want to add on this one, man? Anything else you want to say?
I heard.
Either one.
Yeah, no, man. This is definitely gonna be a good fight on PBC. I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, they have this on an undercard or something, possibly a semi-main or co-main event, because I think these guys deserve it. I mean, definitely Hurd, man. He's been showing a lot all the times I've seen him on and everything. And Tony Harrison, excuse me. Him as well. I know it was a disappointment to see him lose against Willie, but again, both young fighters, both up and coming, and
it would have been needed for him at the time, because if you watched Harrison before, he was real arrogant. When he was fighting on ESPN and all that stuff, he was. I don't know if he was feeling himself too much, but it was probably.
Yeah, I wanted to say that.
And he seemed to humble himself a lot since that fight. So it may have been something he needed at the time. There's nothing wrong with taking an L, man, and he's in position for a title already. So it wasn't nothing bad. It wasn't nothing to derail his career too long. So he's back in position.
I want to ask this question, right? With that title being open and everything like that, what are what are the prospects of Italy being another unification bout later on this year? Do you think whoever wins that bill should hold off, fight a couple other contenders, and try to unify next year? What's your take on that?
I'm not sure what you just asked, man. I'll look at the other guys.
He basically was saying the winner of this fight, if it's for a title, should they hold off on a unification bout and fight a couple more guys and get more experience, or should they go straight ahead into the unification bout with whether Laura Andrade if he beat Koke, or Jermell if he doesn't, whatever move, or Jermell. So that's what he's saying.
You know what? For them, I would say no. They're still young guys on the block, man. I wouldn't say go for immediate unification. I mean, not within this year. Next year is something I definitely would shoot for.
That's what I said. Yeah. Okay.
So I definitely would say next year would be a good time to unify. We don't know how active Andre is going to be either.
What about now I got a question. Would you throw with them being young guys, would you throw another young guy like Erickson Lubin against one of them later on in the year?
Yeah.
Lubin was prospect of the year in what, 2015 or this most recent year? I'm not sure if it was last year. Last year. Okay, so he's primed and ready to go against somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He definitely can fight one of those two. Like I said, it's a division that's defining itself, and I love it. You got to pay attention to what you're seeing here at 154 and some of these other divisions right now. Like they're defining themselves and making a new name, man. I like what I'm seeing here, but we're gonna take it on to our next topic, fellas.
Hey, hold on, before I leave, Twan, remember. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of unification title fights taking place that's not happening there.
Oh, yeah.
No, you remember the conversation we had with the guy that said there's a whole lot of unification fights that's not happening everywhere for 154.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait,
I can't even think of dude's name, man. Wow. One of them troll cats, man. He just one of the dudes that be heavy trolling, but we got into it heavily. And I had to shut him down. But that was our 13th knockout right there. It was early in our career, but we knocked his ass out. That was early in the movement, though. We now like 51, 52-0.
Yeah, and counting.
We're going to take it on to another exciting fight that's in the talks right now, man. For IBF light heavyweight title eliminator, Sullivan Barrera agreed to face Artur Beterbiev. Man, I guess I got to go to the Cuban, man. I'm tired. Yeah, I got to go to the Cuban. What's good, bro?
Muerte.
There comes a time, nigga, is that even a word? What the hell?
Muerte.
This motherfucker trying to say muerto. It's muerte. Oh, man, listen. Isn't it nice to see that we have brave guys in the sport of boxing that won't drop belts, that will take on challenges, that will push themselves, that won't that won't get into A-side, B-side arguments like my fellow Cuban brothers. I mean, that's just so refreshing to see my brave young Cuban guys stepping up to the challenge and fighting dudes that motherfuckers from the Caribbean holding green belts are afraid to fight. I'm loving this. I actually like this fight, though, real talk. I like this fight. Sullivan Barrera versus Artur Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev is a very hard puncher. He's also the guy, I think he beat Kovalev in the amateurs.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Yeah, okay, he beat him in the amateurs. He also, he's kind of a guy that a lot of people haven't been talking about when it comes to the light heavyweight division. So he's trying to get his name up there in the mix. Sullivan Barrera, ever since leaving Abel Sanchez, he hooked up down there with Pedro Diaz and them down there, Mungo Boxing in Miami. So he's looked very good in his fight against Shabransky, which he looked very good. A lot of people didn't think he could win that fight. He looked good. He did some things that we hadn't seen Sullivan Barrera do in a long time. He did some more boxing. He did more movement. My only concern is with Beterbiev's punching power, and if Shabransky can put Barrera down, I'm quite sure Beterbiev would be able to put him down. So he's going to really have to step it up on that defense.
Yeah. Beterbiev has power in both hands,
In both hands. So he's going to have to he's definitely going to have to step it up in the defensive aspect of the game. Now, as far as the pedigree is concerned, I don't think that's gonna advantage either one of these guys in this end, because both of these guys have good amateur pedigree background. And I've said it before, although Sullivan Barrera do come from the Cuban School of Boxing, he wasn't necessarily picked to be on the Cuban Olympic team because of his style of fighting. That wasn't exactly what they had in mind, picking him for the Olympic team. But it's a good fight. It's two young guys. Sullivan Barrera is riding a wave of confidence. Artur Beterbiev is a dude that's trying to get his name up in the mix and get some of these other dudes out here to fight him, because we know that there's a light heavyweight champion holding the green belt that's from the Caribbean. He don't really want to fight no goddamn body. So this is a very good fight. I like it. This is a pick-em fight as far as I'm concerned. Those who pick Beterbiev to win, I will not be shocked or surprised, because one thing we've never seen Beterbiev shaking or hitting hard or taking down. Okay,
actually, he has been knocked down a couple times. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna try and think of the fight, but go ahead. If I think of it, okay, I'll let you know. But he has been down.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen him, so but it will be good to see how does he deal with someone who has a good boxing skill as Sullivan Barrera if he comes in and employs that. Barrera has a good jab, but Beterbiev has a very strong jab. So this, to me, this is a pick and fight. Anybody that picks Beterbiev, I won't have a problem with that. Of course, you guys know, like I say, I'm fair and unbiased when it comes to judging fights, regardless of who they are, where they're from. I'm picking a Cuban. But I definitely but I definitely like this fight. I think this is another one of those fights, and people can say what you want, that's good for boxing. Two young guys going in there and giving us fights. And this is starting to turn out this year is where a lot of these fighters are starting to set the stage for what we really need to see happening in boxing. We need two young guys, whether undefeated or whatever, on hot streaks. We need to see young guys in their prime fighting each other. That's the only way this sport is going to survive. And I'm glad to see that we had it with James DeGale and Badou Jack. We had it with Abner Mares and Cuellar. We finna get Leo Santa Cruz Frampton 2 again. And now we got this fight right here and many more, Jarrett Hurd and Harrison, and many more coming up. So I'm glad to see this, and I think this is what boxing needs. Love the fight, but it's a pick 'em fight. But those that pick Beterbiev, I won't be angry with you. I'll just delete you from my friends list.
Petty as hell in 2017, like we said. Man, the interesting thing about Beterbiev is to a lot of people that actually have paid attention to his career, they'll say that he's I won't say regressed, but he's kind of slowed down. He came out fighting some big guns immediately in 175 early on. I mean, you got to think what his fifth or sixth fight he fought Tavoris Cloud, who was the former champion, one fight removed from being a champion actually, after fighting Adonis Stevenson. He beat a ex-champion Greg Campillo. And, since then it's kind of been slow. He's been injured and he's faced some, not the highest, level of competition since then. So let me get your take on that, Big Cool. Has he regressed in any way, or you think they're taking their time to groom him better? Like, what do you think has been as far as with Beterbiev over the last year or so?
Combination of both. He did come out guns blazing, like you said, but analyze your fights, each fight out. After each fight, you see what you can improve on, and they kind of reeled him in a little bit. Want to get him too far ahead, to where when he really steps up, he doesn't perform well. So I think combination of, him being injured, him, having some early success, but clearly I think he got knocked down. What fight was who was the guy he fought? The light-skinned guy with all the hair, knocked him down in their fight. Other than that, he was dominant, but I think that they realized he got some kinks in his armor that he needs to, fine-tune before he steps up to that next level against guys who aren't shot, not taking a shot at him, defeating Cloud and Campillo, but still, younger, fresher guys. So I think that they kind of got together and said, we're going to slow you down a little bit, let you continue to get better, and then obviously I think they feel that he's ready, even though Barrera didn't have to accept the fight. I'm glad that he did. And I think that Barrera is a very live dog in this fight. He got the experience from, the Ward fight, the Sabransky fight. Although he was dropped, he showed, a different, Barrera from the one we've seen against Ward, and obviously because it's a different skill level. But he showed that he had some grit, some toughness, and some pop. He just dominated that fight. And I think that, Beterbiev definitely has to be prepared for the best version of Barrera. If not, I can see Barrera, winning this fight, whether it's late stoppage or decision, because a lot of these times these guys come out with these big knockout records, and we know he can punch, but the power don't really translate well as he steps up, as they step up in competition, and it kind of decreases it. Like you see your Stevens, not saying Beterbiev like that, but if he can't knock you out, will he mentally check out the fight and, get frustrated? So it's a great fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight where definitely has a great chance at, defeating Beterbiev, especially for a chance to, fight for the IBF title. So I think both guys are going to bring it, and hopefully the fight gets done.
All right. Definitely a good fight, man. I'm looking forward to this one. It's a new crop of 175 coming up. Once Sergey's going to have to work his way back up to the top if this rematch doesn't go through. So, it's good to see some other guys getting some shine and getting some light in the division, and considering the aftermath, what might not be a rematch between Andre Ward and Kovalev. So it's good to see some other things shaping out there. With that said, we're going to take it on to our next topic, man. We had the cruiserweight division is on the rise, man. We talked about it a lot in within our past couple of shows, and we got another fight coming up. And I hate to even mention this shit because it's gonna give motherfucking the casual some credibility on this motherfucker. Marco Huck is facing Mairis Briedis for the vacant WC Cruiserweight belt that was just vacated by Tony Bello on April 1st. But they're calling this shit a unification belt because Briedis holds the Huck holds the IBO.
Oh!
I do it.
Oh,
I do it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I do it.
Yes.
I do it.
Shout out to the IBO. They about to money this. The light green belt with the dark green belt.
Hold on, man. Hold the fuck on. See? Y'all see? This is what's wrong with the sport of boxing right now, man.
What you mean?
This is what the fuck is wrong with boxing. We giving these casuals too much credibility.
Oh, no. Y'all been saying it the longest. We want unification belt. Now y'all got it. Y'all can't complain.
Get the
You can't complain now. It doesn't matter. If it's the IBO, the WBF, it doesn't matter.
We do not need no motherfucking 5 major titles. The 4 was good enough. I don't know what this shit is, man.
Shout out to the IBO, baby. Hey, don't be surprised if they call me one day and like, yo, we want to sponsor you. No problem. Pay me. And
with that being said, man, I'll shut up because we need some money on this show, and they might be providing it. So I'll go ahead and let you give you a little blast to them. They may be listening. What's your take on this, man? You're really ain't keen with the cruiserweight division, being close with Uncle James and all. I mean, what has he talked to you anything as far as what their plans are? I know he's talked to you about their plans to go to heavyweight, but has he mentioned any of the names such as Marco Huck, who's been long established in the division?
Yeah, we talked to me and him. We talked. And yeah, they have their eyes on a lot of things right now for Usyk, but this year is going to be very interesting because, of course we know Bellew is fighting Haye, but I think they're fighting at heavyweight. So Bellew is still probably up.
He's okay, so that's why this fight is for the WBC. He vacated the belt, and this fight with Huck and Briedis is actually for that vacant belt.
Okay, so you got Lebedev for some odd reason still holding on to a goddamn belt.
Man.
Don't even get me started on that. You got Garcia, and you said Briedis is fighting Marco Huck. So they definitely got their eyes on the unification. I actually think that Usyk could run the tables here. I'm real talk. Usyk could run the fucking tables here. I see him beating all of these dudes. With that skill set level he has, I see him beating all of them guys. So it's going to be interesting to see. I haven't had a chance to ask him what's the next move for Usyk right now because, that was a tough fight that he just came off of with Matuna, and he was able to get the W and the win. But let me just say this, though. There's a dark horse in the cruiserweight division, ladies and gentlemen. There's a young man that's coming up. And if Shumanov shows some heart, my boy,
I'm finna mute. I gotta mute it.
You know him. Braekhus is coming on the rise, ladies and gentlemen.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
He's on the rise, baby. Keep your eyes open for this guy right here. Cool Ranch Doritos. The mega matchup in the cruiserweight division is Usyk versus Braekhus. That's the mega matchup. But no. But yeah,
you know what? I actually agree. I actually agree with you, man. Ortiz is a special talent, man. I will give you that. It's actually a good fight, man. He's pretty athletic himself. If there's anybody that may be able to neutralize that athleticism of Usyk, he would be the one to do it. So that's actually a good call. I just hate that it's a Cuban because you get to talk all that shit and going on your rants again, and I got to think about muting you.
Oh, wow. But you know what, though? This Marco Huck and Briedis fight, I would like to see Marco Huck face our guy again. I drew a blank. We had him on the show.
Yeah, Steve Cunningham.
Yeah, I would like to see him fight Steve Cunningham again because Cunningham, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he give Huck his first loss?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would definitely like to see that again. Listen, Steve Cunningham is always a dangerous guy, regardless of his age. He's a dangerous cat. So I would like to see Steve Cunningham face Marco Huck again. But, yeah, you know, Marco Huck is going to fight that guy, Briedis. I don't know that much about him, but I know Huck.
He's a young talent, man. He's a young gun too, man. He's not.
Okay, so it's pretty much one of those interesting fight type deals then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an interesting fight, but I am going to say this: I don't see like Usyk. I can see Usyk beating Garcia. I see Usyk beating Lebedev, and I definitely see Usyk beating whoever wins between Huck and Briedis. So. It's going to be interesting to see. The cruiserweight division is another one of the sleeper divisions, guys, that people are sleeping on that's hot. And I say this, and I hate to say this, but it's true. I think the only reason why the cruiserweight division gets no love because we don't have any Americans in that division. So it's hot. It's hot.
All right. We're going to go on into our next topic, man. Let's see what we got coming up right now. Guess we got our reviews for the week coming up as far as our previews. And we're going to start it off with another special one. We got another women's fight happening this week. The lovely Cecilia Braekhus defending her welterweight belts against Kiara Spencer. I'm not even sure if these are a title defenses. So this might be a voluntary, but I'll go ahead and let Kibana Loco. I'm gonna call him Brazilian. I'm gonna call him Brazilian Loco.
Before you go with Cubano, I want to say something real quick. Let's make a correction here. Steve Cunningham didn't fight Marco Huck. He fought Glowacki. That's the fight he fought here. He lost to.
No, Stephen Cunningham beat Marco Huck though. Yeah, he did beat Huck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he cut it
out with your casual shit, but no,
it wasn't no casual shit, man. No, I was doing my research, homie.
But let me introduce her properly, because Twan refuses to introduce this woman properly. Ladies and gentlemen,
she ain't gave me none yet. That's why.
Wow. We just lost all our women listeners because of that comment right there.
Wow.
You the black Donald Trump now, huh?
We take it there.
Hey, you know what?
Alpha male.
Yeah, wow, man. The most beautiful woman in all of combat sports, Cecilia Braekhus, is fighting Sevenson. And Sevenson, in her own right, she calls herself the princess. Sevenson, in her own right, she only got one loss. And she's taller than Cecilia Braekhus. That's never really ever bothered her. I think the Mathis was taller than Cecilia Braekhus.
Yeah.
So she's taller than Cecilia Braekhus. She only has one loss. And she has a very good skill set as well. But listen, for right now, I haven't seen anybody in that division on skill-wise on the level of Cecilia Braekhus. I think the only way Cecilia Braekhus loses this fight is if Cecilia Braekhus is not prepared or she has a mental breakdown. And I'm not trying to be biased and messed up. I'm just saying, if you have ever watched this woman fight, Cecilia Braekhus, she is a superb boxer. She's very skillful. She has good foot movement. She's in and out, great balance. So it's a good fight, and it's a good fight from an aspect of it's good to see women fighting, finally trying to get shined into the limelight. I think this is the main event card in her hometown, which when she last fought in her hometown, she drew a record-breaking crowd of 9,000 people. So it's a good fight. I'm glad we're talking about it. Shout out, props to Lou DiBella because he's also been a great advocate of women fighting. Rock Nation gave us Clarissa Shields, although that should have been, we should have been able to sing that fight. They didn't have that fight where we could have saw that fight, even though it was on the pay-per-view. So, women's boxing is starting to, make a very good run here. I like this fight. I wish it was over here in America. But it's an interesting fight. I still got Cecilia Braekhus winning. It's just by Stevenson being so tall. She's very tall and very, rangy. It draws some interest and intrigue, but I don't see her beating Cecilia Braekhus, the most beautiful woman in all of combat sports at all, period.
And just to put it out there, Spencer is a former, she's coming up from a lower weight class, and, she has made a run at a title before. Her only loss was for the WBC lightweight belt, in which she lost. So, this is a whole different level when we're talking brackets, though. Rivas, who she lost to before, is a very good fighter, but, when it comes to women's boxing, at this current state, there's nobody touching Cecilia Braekhus. Not even coming close. She lost to Annabella Farias last year, I believe, pretty easily on the scorecards. And, I see this being a similar outcome as far as, the way it's going to take place. Braekhus is just that good, man. And, she had a problem with the faster. Vincent actually has a problem with the smaller, faster fighters. So, I'm hoping to see Braekhus take advantage of her size difference, her speed, and use that against the bigger Spencer. I don't know if any of you fellas want to touch on this topic. Big cool.
Man, I leave that to y'all, man. I leave that to y'all. Like I said, y'all watch the women's boxing. Yeah,
she's definitely enjoyable to watch. Bernard, you got anything you want to add on there?
We got Amanda Serrano in the beginning, and now we get Cecilia Braekhus. Who's next, baby? Who is next? That's all I got to say, man. That's all I got to say.
All right. Trying to see who we got on right now. We got a caller, Mike Malachi. And can one of y'all check that for me? Where Malachi call from? Because we got a caller from Virginia. I don't know if it's...
I think that was him last time. I think that was him.
Okay. Let me go ahead and bring on Malachi. You on, man? Malachi.
What's up, man?
Okay, cool. We got our boy Malachi from Danger Zone Boxing, man. Big up on coming on the show. You filling in for one of our panelists today, 2K, who's usually our expert analyst, and, he's expert with the smaller divisions. We try to cover all 17 on our show and give all the divisions shine whenever there's a big fight coming on. So we definitely appreciate you coming on.
I want to thank Malachi, but I also want to thank his wife. She let him come out to play.
Hey, I want to say, man, I've been listening to your whole segment going back to talking about the unification bout there. Shout out to the IBO, man. Every show. Hell, the IBO, and people disrespect the IBO, especially Timothy, man. Timothy, you need to give some respect now for the IBO, son.
Yo, let me say something real quick, y'all. That may be my nemesis, but you know what? He riding with me on this one. Shout out to my nemesis, Malachi.
Y'all is too much, man. All right, we're going to get into some of the smaller weight breakdowns, man. Like I said, once again, thanks for coming on again, Malachi, because we definitely needed you on this show to help us with these smaller weight classes. Let's see what we're going to start off with, because we actually got two of them happening this weekend, man. I don't know if how well you know about the other one, but we're gonna get to that one second. First off, we got Wanheng Menayothin taking on Melvin Jerusalem for the WBC strawweight title. We touched on this one a couple weeks ago when it was announced. It was a short-term fight, but, Jerusalem's up and coming.
Let me go ahead and pass it on to Malachi, man. What can you tell us about this fight? I know you've had a little bit more time probably to research it since we first talked about it, so let me get your take on it, bro.
Yeah, we got the challenger, Melvin Jerusalem. He's 11-0, 7 KOs. But his last 3 opponents have went the distance. He's 5'2", orthodox, pressure fighter. He's got power, or at least we thought he had power in both of his hands until his last 3 fights. But those last 3 fights have been a step up in competition. His biggest win to date is over the former IBF minimum weight champion, Cardones. However, when you look at that fight, Cardones came into that fight the loser of 3 of his previous 5. So, how much weight can you put into that fight that he beat a former champion? He also holds a win over former WBC international champion, Rafungo. I think I can't say this kid's name for nothing. He's gone on his last 2 after that fight, darn a draw and a loss. And then the guy he just fought before this fight, he had actually lost 10 straight prior to losing to Jerusalem, and that fight went the distance. So really not sure what we have in Jerusalem, even though he's ascended the ladder pretty quickly. Especially with who he's going to face, because this is the man. He's been champion since June of 2014. This is going to be his 6th title defense. 2 fights ago, he beat one of the better fighters in the division in Saul Juarez. Still, though, you really want to see him fight his stablemate to see who is the best fighter in this division, and we're not going to get to see it because, there's a lot of fuckery going on in this division right now. As for how I think the fight's going to be, I think it's going to be a slugfest, man. Both of them like the pressure. I think the champion obviously is the better fighter, and I think he's going to win by knockout. But Jerusalem has a puncher's chance, man.
Can we get your take on as far as why we won't see this unification belt? With the other guy from out there. Like you said, they're both long-term champions, and it seems like the fight would do good over there if they did have it. And
it's the promoter.
There's no reason why they can't run it back a couple times,
Yeah, it's the promoter. He realizes, he has the 2 top guys right now, and there's no reason to put him in the ring. He can make money off of both of them, being a champion. And it's just not going to happen. Hopefully, maybe in the future, there won't be a choice. But, who knows? But it's definitely some title hoarding going on, as 2K has said before.
All right. And basically, do you think the experience would just be too much for Jerusalem? Like, he's a fly-by-night kind of guy. So do you see the experience factor just overwhelming him, or do you think he has a good shot?
I think the experience factor is going to be the difference. Plus, I think Menayothin's the better fighter. But like I said, man, Jerusalem, he's coming in with a pretty significant win by KO percentage, and I think he's got a puncher's chance. But then, I'm not really sold on just how much of a power puncher he is when I look at his last 3 fights. So it's a tough win. I've seen Menayothin knocking him out, and even if Jerusalem went the distance somehow, he would have to overwhelmingly beat Menayothin to actually take that title from him.
Okay. We got another, title fight happening this weekend. That's actually a pretty good one for the IBF super flyweight title between Jerrell and Caja and Jose Alfredo Rodriguez. I actually like this fight, man. Both very good fighters, man. And Caja is pretty big for the weight class, so it'd be pretty interesting to see how it turns out. he's done a complete turnaround since losing, early on in his career as well. Is there anything you might be able to tell us about either of these fighters?
I agree. I think it's going to be a very good fight. I like the kid that moved up in weight to actually win the fight. I think, if I remember right, he's been in with better competition off the top of my head. I can't remember, though, so I don't want to say that 100%.
Yeah, this is the guy that beat Miguel Arroyo, just in case you guys don't know. And Cajas, dude is nice.
Yeah, and I think he's the better fighter of the two, and I think he's going to take that strap.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much I'm going based off of Joe Arroyo. I actually like Joe a lot. I think he's a good fighter, man. So, I mean, just based off of what I know, he's fought, Joe has fought guys like Hernan Marquez and all that, and for Cajas to beat him in the fashion that he did, pretty one-sided fight. So, I definitely see Cajas winning this one as well. But it's definitely a good fight, and, it'll be over in Macau, a big fight over there. The Asian fights, they're hard to see, so we'll probably have to catch this one on replay as we usually do.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to this one. And Cajas has got a little bit of pop to him, too, so it'd be interesting to see if the power plays a part in this fight. He's facing a guy that's got 4 losses on his record. He's been knocked out before, by Kazuto Ioka. So, it'd be interesting to see how he handles the power of this young gun, man. Malachi, you got anything you want to add on, or you want to stay on to help us with some predictions, for the rest of the show? Because you got to cover.
Sure, man. I don't have anything else to do.
You sure? Because Bo, he might start clowning again, trying to Bo guard.
No, listen, man. Hold on, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Malachi is the one dude. He is more than welcome to come on anytime he wants. See, we got too much color on here, and we need Malachi to come on. The only problem is, listen, we can't have Malachi on video because if we have Malachi on video, they're gonna be like that. That color's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When they see him jumping up and down, screaming, "Go Ohio State!" They see him doing that right there. They're gonna know that's some bullshit. But no, Malachi is our guy. He's good to come on, and as always, we know his opinion on the lower weight division. He's one of the guys that even got me into the lower weight division. So props to him for that. And very good, knowledgeable guy. Just sometimes he can be a little, what's the word, dumbfounded when it comes to Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn.
All right, definitely, man. So let's get on to our next couple of reviews. Big fights, man, big ones. Man, Mikey Garcia, man, stepping to the big stage and only his second fight back against one of the toughest son of a bitches in the division, man, at lightweight. He's facing behind Gladakainen for the WBC lightweight title this weekend on the undercard of Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton. I'm going to go ahead and start it off with Big Cool on this one, man. What's your thoughts on this fight? Is this too much too soon for Mikey Garcia, considering his hiatus was pretty long, out of the ring? Go ahead, Big Cool.
It may be, but Mikey is a special talent. But he didn't look good against Rojas in his first fight back. But it was his first fight back. He can punch, he can counter, he can box. He's going to have to move those feet, move that head, because I can't pronounce the guy's name, but the guy's very powerful. He's very aggressive. He put Ricky Burns on his ass with a looping left hook or a short left hook. He's a tough out, man. He's going to bring the fight, and, Mikey going to have to really, rise to the occasion if he want to pull out this fight. But I think he will. I think that, great fighters find a way to win tough fights, and I think he is a great fighter. I think he's going to pull out a close decision, a close but clear decision, and move on to the next phase, of his career. But it will be a great fight. It will be a competitive fight. But I just think Mikey going to have enough, make enough adjustments throughout the fight to win a close but clear decision.
All right. And you know, I won't say he gets an unfair shake of it against for his fight against Rojas. Rojas is actually a pretty good big talent. You know, his only previous loss was against that I recall I see him losing was against Johnny Gonzalez. So, you know, he was a pretty solid guy. Coming up in weight at that. So he was just too small for Mikey, you know, but he did touch him up a little bit. Mikey is his first fight back, a lot of ring rust probably. You know, like you said, Bo said before on another show, I mean, you could be training, but you can't be training to be, you know, you're not necessarily in the ring neither. You know, there's a difference between being in shape and being in fighting shape. When you're not fighting, you know, you ain't got nothing upcoming scheduled. So, you know, that could have been a big difference in that fight. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Bernard, man. What's your take on this fight between Mikey Garcia and Vacating, and how do you see it turning out?
I see Mikey Garcia getting the W, but I'm really kind of surprised that Mikey coming back after such a long layoff got a first fight. I would expect him like maybe 2 or 3 fights in, he would go get the champion. In his second fight, he's going up against the champion. And I give credit to Mikey Garcia. That's that heart in him. That's that fighter in him. I see him getting the W, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets touched up in this one. You know what? I'm going to say my prediction on this one, I can see this going possibly a split decision.
Okay. And you got it going in favor of Mikey, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Pass it on to Bo before we get to our other guest. Go into his prediction. Bo, what's your take on this fight and who you got winning?
I like this fight. Mikey Garcia has made it very clear when he came back that he was not coming back to mess around, and he wanted to challenge for a title. He made that very clear when he came back. So I like this fight. He fought Rojas. He looked very good in that fight. He you know, you can see the ring rust was there, but I think he got it out of the way. So now he's going after the title because remember he also said, and I covered this, he's actually once if he gets past Rojas, he's looking at Jorge Linares because he feels that Linares is the man. He holds that ring title, and Mikey Garcia wants to be recognized as the man. And let me tell you, I like that attitude. We don't see that much nowadays in boxing. We don't see guys that's like, listen, I'm targeting the man because that's who I want to be. I want to be, you know, the man. So we don't see that much. And I'm for someone like Mike Garcia who's been out that long, coming back like this, making this kind of run, I like it. Now, is it something that could hurt him? To a certain degree, yeah. But I think he has enough ring IQ. He has enough skill set and training to compete with Dejan. But now Dejan is no joke. Dejan is not going to just roll over for Mike Garcia. He's going to come to fight. He's going to come and look to defend his title. But again, good fight, excellent fight. Dejan has a good uppercut. He also has ability to go to the body very good. The only issue with Dejan is he doesn't move his upper body as much as he should.
Yeah, that's typical Eastern European right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he doesn't move his upper body as much. He likes to try to pick shots off with the hands and the elbows. And against a guy like Mikey Garcia, that's not going to be good because Mikey Garcia is very good at, you know, throwing the uppercut straight instead of turning the hand sideways. He throws it straight with the hand straight up. He can throw it straight up the middle. Mikey Garcia is also very good at going to the body, getting right behind the elbow, down toward the liver and kidney shot, and then moving. Like Mike Garcia's movement and ring IQ is what's going to give Dejan some issues, some problems. But definitely like this fight, like Mikey Garcia's attitude. And hey, I'm looking forward. I got Mikey Garcia by unanimous decision.
Yeah, I actually got Mikey winning it as well. He is the bigger fighter. The hindsight of Kanan, you know, he's got the height advantage over him by 3 inches and the reach by 3 inches, which means I think Mikey is going to use his reach, his movement to time Kanan, who likes to come in and pressure you. You know, Mikey has a whole lot better foot movement. He's had 2 camps in, you know, ring rust should be out of him. He's been going hard. You know, I just think I can see him actually winning this fight pretty, I won't say fairly easy, but I see it being a UD, probably like the 8-4, 7-5. I see it going that route for Mikey. I guess the only guy that you could say that gave Vacating real trouble is Ricky Burns, and Mikey Garcia, whole different caliber if you ask me, a fighter when it comes to movement and IQ and things of that nature. So we'll definitely see what's going on, and I look forward to seeing what else he's going to do at 135. Malachi, what's your thoughts on this fight and how you see it going?
Yeah, I think I agree with all y'all. It's an excellent fight. Props to Mikey, you know what I mean? His last fight, it's kind of hard. That guy's kind of unorthodox, kind of hard to look really great against him.
Yeah.
So he did get touched, though. And if he gets touched, you can't afford to get touched like that against a champion in this fight, because he can put you down. And I like Mikey, but I'm basically with everyone else, I think, except for you. I wouldn't be surprised if the champion retains his title.
Okay. Yeah, interesting pick, man. This is definitely a fight that a lot of people think will steal the show on that card on Saturday, man. There's a lot of implications for Mikey as well, as far as 135, he wants to go after Linares, and he's also mentioned, once Lomachenko come to 135, he wants that ass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no!
Well, you know what? Let me ask Malachi this question, because
he's kind of stationary to beat Lomachenko. I think. I don't know. Maybe.
Let me ask Malachi this question, because you said that you're going with Dejan, right?
No, I'm taking Mikey, but I wouldn't be shocked if Dejan wins.
What would Mikey gonna say? Because I agree with the fight. Like, I thought he was going to take another fight after the Rojas fight. I really thought he would, because I'm with you. He got kind of touched a little bit more than normal in the Rojas fight. So I thought he would take another fight. But what does Mikey Garcia has to do to in your opinion, to totally win this fight? Like, I don't think he's going to dominate Dejan. I can see him winning 115, 113, or something like that. So what would he have to do, in your opinion, to avoid getting hit by Dejan?
I agree with Twine. He's gonna have to, use his superior height, boxing skills, stay behind his jab, work behind that, to set up what he wants to do. And if he does that, it could be an easy fight for him. Keep the dude off of him, because the dude's gonna try to pressure him. You know what I mean? Then, if Mikey drops a couple bombs on him, we'll see how quick he is to want to bring that pressure too. So,
yeah, it's all about setting traps. He's going to have to set some traps for a guy like Dejan that's constantly moving forward and pressuring. He's going to have to set him up and use that reach. I mean, it won't take a lot of moving, but in addition to his reach advantage.
And you brought up a good point too, Bo. Mikey's body punching. He does that, and he gets, works that body real good, and lands a couple clean shots. We'll see how quick the dude wants to keep bringing that pressure.
Okay, so it looks like we're all pretty much in agreement as far as the outcome of the fight. Little difference in scores probably, and the fashion will happen, but we all think Mikey will win the fight. Which takes us on to the main event of that card, the rematch for the WBA featherweight title between Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton. I'm going to go ahead and start off with you, Malachi. How do you see the rematch playing out between these two?
Well, I took Leo in the first fight, and I thought it was, closer than a lot of people did. I really liked the work.
I agree.
Work that, I mean? I don't think a lot of people saw all the work that Leo did. And I think, the judges sometimes, I think they get caught up in, in the crowd, when the crowd oohs and ahs. And the crowd was clearly in favor of Frampton that night. So anytime he landed even, a punch on the side of the guard or something, people were screaming. So, well, I thought it was a closer fight.
Hey, I hate to cut, not to cut you off, but just to say that there is a similarity between that fight and the Sean Porter-Keith Thurman fight. And the reason I say that is people were amazed by the power shots, Well, you know, in that fight, Thurman against Porter, who was the power puncher? Keith Thurman. He's supposed to be, you know, he's supposed to make you ooh. So you got to really keep that in mind when you're judging these things and looking at a fight. Just like with Leo Santa Cruz versus Frampton. Frampton was really naturally the bigger guy. Leo came up for, 112 or 115, I believe. He started off at 112, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, Frampton was naturally a bigger guy. So he's supposed to have more pop on his punches. At the same time, you know, it's not going to look as impressive because Leo's not a big puncher. You know, he's coming from 115 or whatever to where he is now, 126. You know, so he's not going to have the same pop, but his work, like he was putting in that work. But go ahead, Malachi, I'll let you finish off.
No, that you brought up a great point, and that's a good comparison. Me and 2K talked about it that night because I think 2K, if I remember right, had Leo winning the fight, and we was talking about his, you know, the scorecard. And I asked him a question: do you think the judges got caught up in those, the showy punches that Frampton did, the 3 or 4 he did around, and ignored all the, you know, the work that Leo put in? You know, we kind of kicked that back and forth, and I think that happens a lot, man. I want to take Leo again, but I don't know. Frampton boxes like he did, particularly in early rounds of that fight. I think he'll being. It's in Ireland, right?
No, it's actually in Vegas. They, you know, Leo said you got to run it back on the coast this time, man.
That's right. Okay,
my crowd favorite. You know, last time you gonna run it on my side.
Yeah. Ooh, was that change? Yeah, that might. You know, I was talking to somebody, man, in boxing. You know what I mean? It goes all the way back to tribal warfare. You know what I mean? And people don't believe that, but you can feed off the energy of the crowd as a fighter. You know what I mean? And when your people are screaming for you and everything, you know, it helps you out on some type of level. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm gonna go with Leo again, man. And I think that he's gonna outwork him this time, man. I thought he outworked him last time. I think that this time that the judges will see that, and I think he'll get the W. But it's not gonna be easy.
All right, I'll go ahead and piggyback off you later, but I'm going to send it to the other guys first. Bo, what you know? Usually not a damn thing, but, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what I know. I know that being part Cuban and you're part Caribbean, that my Cuban guys ain't walking around, dancing around with silly fur coats on like they're from Superfly.
Man, you don't know nothing about this pimping. You don't know nothing about that. Pimping.
Get the baby powder. What fight is this again?
We talking about the Leo Santa Cruz and the Carl Frampton rematch.
Man, listen, I this is a good fight. Again, I don't think, and matter of fact, me and Bernard, shout out to Chantel Cameron, me and Bernard actually interviewed her earlier, and she made some very good points. She said that Carl Frampton can't come in kind of with the same game plan because he has to know that Leo Santa Cruz is going to prepare for that. I still got Carl Frampton. I'm going to tell you why. There was nothing. And everybody's going to say Leo Santa Cruz, his situation with his father might have been affecting him, and that very well could be true. But Leo Santa Cruz made absolutely, positively no adjustments in the whole entire fight. He made no adjustments in the whole fight. That ain't got nothing to do with your father being sick on your mind. Leo Santa Cruz has one way he fights, which he comes at you, he tries to overwhelm you with pressure, overwhelm you with volume. And that's what he tries to do. And he made no adjustments. Carl Frampton was giving him angle. He was giving him different looks. Like he never fought round 2 the way he fought round 1. He never fought round 4 the way he fought round 3. And he was giving him different looks. And he was I'm gonna say he was kind of frustrated, Leo Santa Cruz. So I still like Carl Frampton in this fight only because I haven't seen anything from Leo Santa Cruz that says he's going to make an adjustment. He's going to adapt. He's going to make some kind of change. haven't seen that in Leo Santa Cruz in this fight. He fights one way, and that's the only way he knows how to fight. So I still like Carl Frampton in this fight. I think Carl Frampton, I agree he can't come in the same way he did last fight. Like, he's going to have to come in with something different and something new, and also employ that tactic into it. But, I just like Carl Frampton for right now. Until Leo Santa Cruz shows me something, man, unfortunately, I just really feel that Leo Santa Cruz fights one way. He's gonna have to do something different in this fight from the opening gate, from round one. He's going to have to come out in round one and showing Carl Frampton that I'm not the same Santa Cruz that you fought last time. And if he doesn't establish that, the one thing about Carl Frampton, if Carl Frampton starts to get confident, starts to get going, he really gets going. Leo Santa Cruz is going to have to come out and from round one, let Carl Frampton know this is going to be different. Otherwise, we could possibly see the same results.
All right. Pass it on to Big Cool, man. How you see the rematch playing out?
Man, it's tough, man, because I picked Leo to win the first fight. He can't follow Frampton around. He's going to try to cut the ring off. It pretty much overwhelmed because he doesn't really possess the boxing skills to kind of outbox Frampton. So he's going to have to, come out guns blazing, like both said, and really land something to get his attention and get his respect and tweak his game plan a little bit to throw Frampton. But I'm going to go with Frampton, man. I think he's just going to build off the confidence of the first victory over Santa Cruz. I think he was surprised at how well he did, honestly. And I think that he being the bigger puncher and a better overall fighter, I think that he's going to, win another decision. It'll be a little closer. Depends on who you ask. People say the first fight was close, which it was. But I think he's going to win a close split decision. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to Santa Cruz to, really make the fight how he wanted to be. You're going to have to apply unrelentless pressure, throw tons of punches, and, not give ground and be on top of, Frampton from the beginning of the fight to the end. If not, if he let Frampton get in the groove and get the distance and use his jab and counter him, it's going to be a long night for him. So we'll see how it plays out. It should be a good fight, but I think that Frampton ekes out another close decision to go up 2-0 over Santa Cruz.
All right, we'll pass it over to, I'm not sure how he labels himself these days, the casual or fuckery or something. I don't know what the hell he calls himself, Mr. IBO, something.
Hold on. He labelizes himself. Hold on. You got to introduce my partner, right? He labelizes himself.
No, you do it. I'll do it myself.
I got you. He labelizes himself as Yusuf's butt kisser.
No. Nope. Mr. Fuckery, a.k.a. the realest casual in the game, b.k.a. better known as Mr. News to all you motherfuckers. Now, I want to say this. I got money on this fight, and I ain't picking Frampton. And I want to say this. If Frampton comes in with like he did the first half of the fight and boxes Leo Santa Cruz and does it the whole 12 rounds and don't get into a slugfest with him, he has the fight. He has it. I say that's the game plan he needs to come into. Don't try to make it a fan-friendly fight. Even though it's going to come at times, there's going to be certain spots he's going to have to do it. But stick to your game plan of boxing that works with you in the first half, and that's what he should go with. Other than that, I'll let you piggyback on what my nemesis had to say earlier. Yeah, him.
All right, well, you going to make Twine go into his old mojo bag. My mama had a mojo bag. You know what I'm saying? You're going to make me break out my 2K skills on this one. Shout out to TK the guy. Couldn't be with us tonight, but I'm going to do your job for you right here. Now, Malachi picked Leo to win in the rematch, and I agree with him. And I'll tell you this is why. Bernard just said Frampton needs to do what he did the first 6 rounds of the whole fight. Well, let me tell you what happened in the first fight. First fight, Leo Santa Cruz pops, for whatever the fuck reason he did, told him to try and box with Frampton the first half of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He told him to try and box with Frampton. So when you say Frampton needs to do what he did the first 6 rounds, the first 12 rounds, you know what? When Leo unleashed, Frampton could not do what he wanted to do like he did in the first 6 rounds because Leo turned up. You know what I'm saying? He went to normal pressure Leo, high output. Now, what I see happening in the second fight, Leo's going to abandon that bullshit of trying to box with him the first 6 rounds, and he's going to come out and put that pit bull on his ass, man. You know, pressure all fight. And if you notice, Carl Frampton was dragging ass, and he faded in that fight, man. I don't know if you guys are noticing the way I did, but I thought he faded and dragged ass in the last part of the fight, which is why I thought the fight was a whole lot closer than the scores indicated, and actually thought Leo had won, personally. So I was in agreement with TK there. In a rematch, I think Leo's going to whoop Frampton's ass, man. If he comes out, pressures 12 rounds instead of listening to what his father told him to the first fight and trying to box with Frampton, which he clearly does not have an advantage in him doing, he needs to be himself, man. Simple as that. Come out there, high pressure. Frampton can't handle that from 12 rounds, man. He just can't. And he's going to have to put Leo on his ass. You know, he had Leo hurt in the first fight. I'll give him that. But he's going to have to put Leo on his ass, basically, because I don't see him being able to withstand that kind of pressure for 12 rounds. I don't know what kind of changes he has in him to make. You know, the movement was there in the first 6 rounds because Santa Cruz was trying to box with him. When Leo decided to turn up, there wasn't shit Frampton could do about it. You know, that's just what it was. And, you know, you say he made a fan-friendly slugfest. Nah. Leo forced his ass, you know, he forced his ass into it, man. So I got Leo Santa Cruz winning the rematch by UD, man. He just got to come out and do what he's supposed to do and fucking pressure. And I'm actually going to chop it up with a guy that's in his camp, our boy Anthony Saldana, you know what I'm saying, Front Proof Media, Supreme Boxing. You know what I'm saying, that's one of my media cats. You know, I fuck with heavy. You know, he's over in Santa Cruz's camp, so I'm going to holler at him and try and get some inside scoop on the camp. And, you know, we be chopping it up all week anyway, so I'm pretty sure we're going to chop it up about this before the fight come up again. But I'm in agreement with Malachi. Santa Cruz is going to win this rematch, man. Moving on to our next topic, we have another title fight happening, which is also going to lead into our play into my final blow. So don't go too heavy into nothing. But we got what's his name, Francisco Vargas defending the WBC super featherweight title against Miguel Berchelt, who's actually he was actually the mandatory for Vasyl Lomachenko. So you see, he took what he considered was a better path towards a title and facing Francisco Vargas here on Saturday. That said, we're going to go ahead and start it off. Malachi, who you got in this one, man?
I got Vargas. I think he's going to win pretty easily, actually. Hoping that Vargas ends up unifying, you know, getting a unification fight after this. Didn't Tank Davis just win a title in that division?
Yeah, it's actually looking like Vargas' team is eyeing for a Salido rematch if they're victorious in this one too. At least I know Salido's team is trying to get at Vargas again.
This division's a really good division and slept on. I'm glad Tank Davis did win that title because here in the States, it's an American, you know, like Bo had said earlier about the cruiserweight division. We tend to ignore divisions that don't have a dominant American in them. And this division is stacked, man. You know, especially, you know, you got Lomachenko and Vargas and now Tank Davis and you still got Jezreel Corrales, who I'm hearing is talking.
Yeah, he's fighting like we actually covered that on the show. Yeah, we actually that was one of our topics early on before you came on about that fight happening in April.
Yeah, that's a good one. A lot of people don't know a whole lot about Corrales, and you know, it's, not to get off the topic of the other fight, but that's a good fight for that division. I like Vargas, man. I think he's a level above the challenger in this fight.
Let me go ahead and pass it on to our other panelists on this one. You cool? You take who you got winning this fight?
Vargas.
All right. You got it going decision, or what you looking at, man?
Man, I don't know. He's been in some wars. If you want to knock him out, you knock him out. But I'm saying he'll get the unanimous decision. Unanimous decision.
All right. I'm gonna pass it on to B Nord. Who you got in this fight, bro?
No breakdown needed. Lights out.
All right. I guess I know what that means. Vargas, knockout. Translation for y'all that don't know. That's his lingo.
Wake up, bro.
El Viejo.
My bad, man. My bad, man. I forgot the music.
I know you did a big coup this week. That's what it was.
I know, right? Yeah, my bad, fellas. I didn't realize my was on. But
even.
Yeah, I like Vargas in this fight. I like Vargas. I think Vargas is gonna win this fight. He probably should kind of win kind of easily. It depends on which Vargas shows up. Vargas loves going to war. The harder the fights, it seems like the tougher he fights. Vargas loves fights that go to war. So
that's the bad thing against this guy, though. This guy is, they're both knockout artists. Burt showed 27 KOs and 30 victories, but he's also been knocked out himself. So I think somebody's getting put to sleep in this one. I just don't know who. But I will go ahead and go with Vargas because I think he has faced this different competition. This guy actually lost to somebody I hadn't heard of, Luis Eduardo Flores in Mexico.
Flores got knocked out by Tadashi Chiyama.
Okay. I remember him now. Yeah. And he lost to Regis Briedis. That's where I remember him from. That Regis Briedis fight. So yeah, I definitely see Francisco Vargas winning this one. As Bernard said, it's going to be a lights out thing. So I'll go ahead and guess that ends our topics. But we'll go into our UO-ENO segment for the week. Got a pretty good one, man, and I had to hold it down for the Caribbeans.
Hold on.
This week.
Before you hold it on, do anything. What about is there another fight, the Miura fight?
From what?
Miura's fighting on the undercard of Vargas, I think.
Not really gonna cover that one, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Mickey. I know what you're talking about, the Roman fight though.
Mickey Roman and Tadashi Miura. That's a good fight.
Yeah, it's a good fight, but the implications ain't really.
Nah, it's not.
To chop it up on this one, so that's why I didn't really go into it.
Okay.
We got the UO-ENO segment for the week. On this day, 1973, George Foreman, he KO'd Joe Frazier in Kingston, Jamaica to win the heavyweight title, second round. Foreman was 38-0 at the time, and that was the thing that catapulted him into another level, into his fight against Muhammad Ali, of course. But yeah, that was his coming out. I guess his big coming out party, winning his first belt against Joe Frazier in 73. So big up to both of them. Rest in peace, Joe Frazier. Big up Big George. He's still around, selling his damn grills, which I need to get a new one my damn self. But that's a whole other topic. Which leads us into our final blow for the week, man. I'm going to take the final blow this week, and I'm like, it's not something really bad. Well, I guess this is bad. I think this is something that's detrimental to boxing right now. As we all know, HBO looks like he seems to be getting out of the boxing business. They only have, 1 or 2 dates that are actually official on their actual network this year so far, and one of them is happening this weekend with the Vargas fight, going head-to-head against the Showtime card, which is Mikey Garcia and Leo Santa Cruz Frampton in the Frampton rematch. Now, this is one of the only cards they have showing throughout the quarter for HBO. With that said, why would they want to go head-to-head when they had any other week they could choose from and be on the solo, on the solo tip? I mean, this is bad for boxing. Boxing doesn't need to have head-to-head cards on networks when we're already struggling, in the States at least, for viewership. You know, the better card is going to get the fucked up numbers again because it's skewed already in favor of HBO. I don't really, you know, I'm starting to get tired of the network shit personally. But, you know, like I said, it has an effect on the growth of boxing, you know, when you're taking away from an actual good card to show something else which is not as good. You know, it has an exciting matchup, but you're taking away from a card, man, when you didn't have to. And so that's my biggest thing, man. If HBO is going to get out of the boxing game, or if it's going to be limited, man, do your own fucking weekend. You know, we don't need these head-to-head cards that's going to make people just have to choose and pick and choose between fights. I mean, real fight fans want to watch both. You know, we don't want to have to DVR and watch something later. We shouldn't have to all the time. And definitely now, considering what HBO is doing with their, you know, with not having a first budget or a first quarter, you know, schedule set as of yet. You know, we got 2 cards that are going to be on pay-per-view and only 2 that are actually televised on their network. So that's what's that, about 14 weeks right there, the first quarter of the year, 14, 15 weeks. Mm-hmm. They had all the time in the world to schedule a different date for this fight. So that's my biggest thing. Boxing, stop doing this to us. The networks, at least, you know, I guess it has something to do with the promoters as well. You know, no need for this shit right now, man. We want this shit to grow. So, you know, let's just cut out on the double headers. I understand there's competition always in any aspect, whether it's business, you know, between the promoters or even the networks or fighters in general. So, I mean, let's do what's best for the sport. Cut out making the people pick and choose when you don't have to. Like, we're in a time where we don't have to. Maybe in past times you would have to pick between, you know, and I would say Heyman was actually a culprit in that as well, you know, the way he was booking dates and trying to go head-to-head with people. So I'm just saying, for everybody involved, all stakeholders, cut that shit in 2017. It's unnecessary. That said, I guess that's going to conclude our show. I'd like to thank Malachi, you know what I'm saying, from Danger Zone Boxing for coming on the show. And, you know, he's an extended member of the family, man, of the movement. You know, they hold us down. You know, from day one, we stay fucking with stay fucking with Danger Zone. So definitely big up Malachi for coming on and holding it down in place of 2K, who couldn't be on tonight. For 2K, we catch you next week, bro. Guys of Boxing Talk. Boy and Bernard, we're going to shoot the facts about boxing. And we got Big Crew from Colossal Boxing Talk. I am Twine the Divine Liberty of HoopJab.com and Rocky Mountain Boxing. And with that said, we make up the movement. Peace until next week, y'all.
Peace.
Allah.